Hello and welcome to It's Finally Happening. We can finally put a bow on the year 2024 because this is the 2024 Sticky Awards. I know
I've been waiting for it.
the entire world has been waiting with bated breath. I am Eric Allen. I'm here with Joe Drilling.
I am Joe Drilling, and I'm here with Mike Ailes.
That's me, and I'm here with Alex Rio.
Hello.
Play the game,
Kurt's
Alex.
here.
Christ. Kurt Adam is
I'm
also
also
here.
here.
Hi, Kurt.
And this
You're
is why we
so
don't
bad at
throw to
this,
Alex in the middle.
You're so bad at this.
He was not.
We threw the hot potato to Alex and he dropped it on the
is-
ground
that-
and tripped over it and then fell on it and burned his face. And it's ugly. Anyway,
That is an
Um,
amazing font you have found.
once per year, we all gather together to talk
God.
about the best games
What did you
of the
find?
previous year. This year it took a little
Mr.
longer than
Pattern
normal, but that's because we had to do extra long science this time to scientifically decide the best game of
Oh man, my equations, you got no idea.
coming out the yin yang. Anyway, so
I got the slide ruler out, the abacus.
hey, do you guys remember 2024?
No.
Vaguely.
Not very much, so this is gonna be fun.
I'm pretty confident saying it was a year and that there were video games.
It's true. I think both of those things are
It
true.
was a year. There were video games. Some stuff I enjoyed. Some stuff happened I wasn't too happy.
I played
about.
a ton of stuff in 2024, but it was definitely a weird year in that there was like maybe nothing. I don't know if there was any. I guess there's a couple of games that are kind of on the all-timer list, but I don't know that there was. It wasn't like a 2017 or like a 2020 one or whatever. There's been a few years where it's like
I mean, I got like 2 all-timers for me, so it was a good
Okay.
year in Mike books.
that's good. All right. Well, let's we're just gonna we made a
say-
big list. We have a bunch of runners up that we're gonna go through first, and then we'll do the top 10 in the order of the top 10. And this will be the definitive
I'm gonna
list.
say your audio is getting
Forever.
a little wonky.
Who mine is?
Yeah, I heard
Yeah, I
that.
have heard about
Well,
a little
yeah.
wonky Eric.
Okay.
That's same.
Should be fine on the
A
recording.
little bit.
I don't know if
Okay.
nothing I can do about it right now.
Okay,
Let from
just making
start
sure.
over. Not dropping any frames.
Your
Just
excellent
occasional syllables.
connection.
Okay.
Excellent connection as far as YouTube is concerned. So
Great. I'm gonna blame the Discord server. How does that sound?
sounds good. Yeah, that
Okay.
sounds reasonable.
Anyway, all right, we're gonna start. We had a big log jam of games that were we
For those that
Those were
haven't
on US
haven't
Central.
done this before,
uh-huh.
we use, as noted, we use math
Yep.
to figure out the absolute best game. So science, math, and so on.
True.
So we brought all that stuff together. Unlike other years, we don't have 4,500 ties. So there's
We have
a
couple
a good
ties.
spread.
Sort of
But
shocking, to
there's
be
a few
honest.
tries. Yeah, a few tries, but there's a lot of different games on the list. And I think that highlights what Eric just said earlier of, not necessarily one that not necessarily some obvious choices all the way down, but there were a lot of good things.
I think that is one. All right. So let's start out with a game that I had at the number 10 spot on my list. It's called Neo Proxima. It's a very small indie game. It's kind of a visual novel. It's like a puzzle game, a time loop game, and a game that it's sort of like an Ancient Aliens story where you're like, it's kind of like Mass Effect in that in this world, like some alien technology lands on Earth and humans use that to like go and explore the galaxy. And then eventually they find this planet that seems to be the home planet of the aliens that developed that technology. And you're part of a small group of 3 people whose job it is to explore the ancient ruins and like find new pieces of technology or things that will help you to understand what happened. And what happens is that you go into this alien base and you find a thing that gets you like lands you in a time loop. And so you keep waking up like
A time loop.
Yeah, like Groundhog Day. You wake up the same day and your job is to kind of like figure out how to navigate the loop perfectly to get you to the point where you get back to that space to kind of end the time loop or to figure out how to end the time loop. I think Mass Effect and Outer Wilds are your two best touchstones for this. I think that the thing that sets this apart from
Those are
those two
good touchstones.
games is that that this is pretty short. It's like 5 or 6 hours. And the other thing is that so your character is Farah. If you look down in the bottom left, Duncan is like an engineer who's kind of like a stodgy guy, and Chen is a scientist who's very enthusiastic. And they are a couple. They're married, and as the time loop goes on, Chen starts to forget who Duncan is. And one of the things that you have to do in the game is decide if you want to keep reminding her over and over again who Duncan is and what he means to her. And it gets like it's like a pretty gnarly decision to have to make because he wants to know like what she's doing, and she is like devastated over and over again to like learn about this person that she doesn't know. And there's a couple of different endings, and they're kind of determined by some of your choices about their relationship, and then ultimately which character you end up doing the end game with. And that's all I will say about it for now. But I think there's some really, really clever writing. And then the other big thing that I really like about this game is that the soundtrack is by Fly By No, who are the guys that did the
Oh, yeah.
Dungeon of the Endless soundtrack.
Down to the Endless, yeah.
Yeah. I think they used their actual names for the soundtrack for this one because I think Fly By No is like the team of musicians that do the Endless games. But it's a really, really good soundtrack. It's a nice moody little piece of interactive fiction that you can play through in like I said, 5 or 6 hours. So nice.
It has a demo on Steam.
Does
If
it
you
still
would
have a
like to
demo?
try it.
Okay. Also pretty
I just
cheap. I
went
think
to
it's
add
like
it to my.
I just saw
I
it.
think it's like $10.
$12.99.
At the very least, check
I
out
went-
the soundtrack. There's some really, really good shit. There's one of the songs on the soundtrack has been my alarm music since the game came out. So good.
Nice.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Another runner up worth mentioning is 20 Small Mazes, which I think a bunch of us played.
I mean,
Was free on
I played it.
Steam. I don't know.
I actually just
Yep.
finished it like a couple weeks ago.
Okay. I didn't know who put it on their list, but I played
I
it.
put
and
it
Joe
liked
put
on.
it
it.
on
I put it on
list.
mine. Yeah. I still like this game a lot. I need to finish Strange Jigsaws, which is sort of like a more fully realized version of this.
Yeah.
In some ways, I think
That game really
it does a
goes
lot
some
of the
places.
same. Yeah, it does a lot of similar stuff in terms of like the sort of like the meta like play mechanics, like what you can see Eric's like folding this map and
Mhm.
and that like move, you can use that to move the dot to places where it shouldn't be able to get. Strange Jigsaws is very similar. But 20 Small Mazes is just a super charming. I think I finished it in one sitting. It's one of those. I feel like I get one of those every year. There's like some game that I was really taken by and just sat down and finished the whole thing in one shot. Like Eric said, it was free.
Still
It's
free.
Still
if you
free.
like
I just-
puzzles, it's still free. Yeah,
It is still
If-
free.
if
It is
you-
73 megabytes.
yeah. There's really no excuse to not just like
Yeah.
check out 20 Small Mazes. Which
I mean, I literally just
there is
downloaded
some
it
weird-
and booted it up.
I would say there's some weird meta stuff going on in it, but the title is accurate. It is just 20 small mazes, and when
Yeah.
you finish the 20th one, the game is over. So
The name of the developer is Fleb. It's like one guy making these.
Fleb, that's
And
right.
the idea is
Yeah.
basically, right, that you take like a type of puzzle or a type of thing that normally you would do on a piece of paper, and then you make it into a video game, and then you make versions of those puzzles that can only be done in a digital space, right? Like most of the puzzles in this game, you could not translate them to a puzzle book. But it still kind of
Right.
feels like a puzzle book in the back of your parents' car when you're a kid or whatever.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
It's very satisfying the way the puzzles dissolve away when you finish them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, he has a kid, and he always has them do some drawings for both of his games, and they're excellent. So the thing right. All right. Let's see. Another runner up worth talking about is Tactical Breach Wizards.
That
If
should be
you
higher.
if you like defenestration, this is the game for you because that's
Oh,
and we all,
yeah,
and we all know what
buddy.
it means.
So
we all know what it means.
Yep. We have successfully documented that we all know what it means.
I have 19 more puzzles to go. Update.
Good work.
I will note, as I said
19
before,
Thank you.
mazes.
right? We did some
Sorry.
of this stuff very early in the year. I hadn't finished Tactical Breach Wizards at the point that we did voting for this. I would put it higher now, probably. But it's a game from Tom. I can't remember his last name.
York?
He did Gunpoint.
Francis, it says on the
and
screen.
Tom Francis. There it is, right there on the
Tom
screen. now.
Francis.
He did Gunpoint and Heat Signature in this game. Gunpoint was in our Stickies whatever year
I
that
believe it
came out.
Placed #1 that year.
It might have.
It was a
Did
weird
it?
year for games, but I think it
2013.
was a weird
It was
year.
2013.
But
or
as
maybe it was just
I don't think it was
mine
that
as
as
a
weird.
one
Eric
game that
noted,
year.
this is a game for people that like defenestration. So it's a, as you can see, right?
I mean, I
it's-
like it when it happens to
it's
other
a,
people.
tactical, yeah, tactical combat game. You're playing a squad of magic users who
Well-
are trying to. Go ahead.
So in this game, it's like, yeah, that's the thing that I think like is worth mentioning is that like magic is real and like people use it in like the military. So you are the
Right.
titular like special forces. You're like a group of special forces people who are also all wizards.
Yeah, the name is
yeah.
literal. They are
The
tactical.
name is
breach
very
wizards.
literal. Yeah.
And so it's a tactics game where you do, you have your team, you plan out your moves, and you try and clear some objectives. Often there'll be sort of multiple rooms you'll work your way through to sort of complete a mission, and there's an overarching story from that stuff. You'll recruit new characters, do stuff. You have to manage actions and various
It's a little like bite
abilities
size
and stuff that you have.
like bite-size XCOM kind of in the tactical
Right.
combat aspect of it. The big thing that this game kind of does is that the bearded wizard on the left, his thing is that he can see like a few seconds into the future, which basically means that he can see your next few moves.
Yeah, he can
It's
see
turn-based,
sort of what
but
happens.
you can go back.
You're
Right.
like,
Kind of
okay, you can
experiment.
go up to here.
Right.
There are
You can-
restrictions to that. You can't like completely,
Right.
like save scum everything that you're doing, but to a certain extent, you can be like, all right, I can go here, and then they can go there, and this guy will do this. Oh, that doesn't look good. Let me rewind that a little bit. All right, now do this, and then once you commit, you'll get stuff. And all of that is really well done. There's an interesting progression with the various characters. They play very differently from each other, so you have interesting classes that you can do. There's a small squad of I think like 6 or 7 people.
5, I think.
Okay.
6.
maybe
Oh
it's
no, there's
5.
there's the old lady, the witch, the healer surgeon person, the pink one who's like the one with the shield, and then the assassin guy. 5?
Yeah.
Forgetting anybody? 5? Anyway, it doesn't
Like
matter.
5. Anyway,
Yeah.
It's fun little dialogue sequences where you get to
yeah,
like, choose what
the
your
writing
character
is
says.
excellent.
The writing is fucking
writing is
top notch.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's excellent. It's really funny. It's really dry. I sent screenshots of things as they were happening to various people, and try and convince them to play it. But it's all very good. If what you're seeing here is intriguing at all, and
Listen, if you've
you
ever
wanna support a
you've
small
got
indie
ever
game,
gotten
do
a unjust traffic ticket and wanted to knock Steve
Steve Warlock, the traffic.
no
Steve-
Clark, the traffic warlock out of
The
a
traffic
window
warlock, yeah.
because he put
Yeah,
a boot
yeah,
on your car, a magical boot on your car, then this is the game for you. It's good.
Yeah.
Also, for the record, Gunpoint tied for second in the 2013 Stickies alongside Link Between Worlds and Antechamber.
That's That's
but it was
pretty
number
good.
one in my heart.
Those are
It's on my list.
three pretty damn good videos. All right. Another game, this was my number 9, I believe, is a very small game called No Case Should Remain Unsolved. It's made by a single developer who's Yong Yang. I don't know how to pronounce it. But there's been kind of there's been like an upswing in games that are kind of like Obra Dinn or the Golden Idol series, where they're like kind of like text deduction game or
Predicaments.
art deduction games where you're like given a series of information and then you have to like assemble that information into a like meaningful thing. This game does it via text. You are given the role of like a detective who's kind of like lost their mind or their memories, and somebody shows up and about a missing persons case that happened like many years ago, and the game just gives you all of these pieces of text and then like a list of names and people that kind of have to do with the case, and your job is to like take all these chunks and then arrange them in order of who actually said them, and then arrange them in the proper order that they were said, so that way you
Logically.
can figure out exactly what actually happened. And it is a pretty sad story, but the developer has said that the main theme that he really wanted to get across was like of like kindness and people helping people. And it's like a 2.5 hour game, probably, depending on how good you are at solving the puzzles. But it's I don't know, I thought it was just a very thoughtful little short story of a game that
Yeah, I agree. I played it after you talked about it, and I agree with all that.
yeah. I would say that our friend Anthony Rogers, who is also a puzzle sicko, put this down though, because it does have to do with some stuff with child death and some children going missing or whatever, and that can be a pretty thorny subject matter
Yeah,
if
that
you
can be
have
tough.
kids, especially.
Yeah.
But it does really end up being a story about how like a community can kind of help protect somebody. But like I said, you can't, if you spoil the story, then there's kind of like nothing left of it. It's still like a good story worth
Right.
playing, but
Right.
I don't feel that there's any upside to kind of going over the plot details or whatever. But it's just it's like $5
explicitly
on
should not
Steam.
do that.
It's super short, so if you like puzzle games or deduction games, then this is a real good one to check out.
Agreed.
All right, so our next game is a probably on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, I think, in terms of budget and scope and scale.
Absolute maximalism.
Yeah, and that is even right down to the art style and the soundtrack, and that is Metaphor
Winner of our first
ReFantazio.
special award. Yes, Metaphor ReFantazio, win of our first special award for best incomprehensible chanting.
Some great
featured
chanting.
numerous times throughout this game. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm the only one who actually voted for this game, which
I mean, I think
surprised me at the time. I think
you and I
just
were the
kinda
only
said
ones that
you
played it.
maybe- Yeah, but I was a little surprised you didn't fit it on your list at all. But I can also respect the hustle of just wanted to shout out some smaller, cooler games. But yeah, this is the first game that I've played from the Persona team that I have enjoyed since Persona 3. I think they did a really, really good job of coming up with a world that has. I mean, the strongest part about the game in my mind is like the art style and then the soundtrack are incredible, but the characters are all, I don't know, really lovable. Like they're kind of broadly drawn. They're all incredibly earnest. I was thinking about this the other day. It's like there's the warrior lady who just really wants to protect people, and there's the noble guy who just really wants to be a good leader, and like everyone just wants to do their thing.
In a lot
a
of ways,
bunch.
it is the opposite of the casts from the Persona games, where there's like usually at least a couple of people who are like unrepentant jerks or homophobic or whatever, and kind of never like learn the lesson of how they should act around other people. And this game like you said, they're just all very like genuinely good people, kind of like trying their best to make the world a better place.
This is a team of RPG characters that I would actually like to hang out with,
Yeah.
like in my real life.
Yes.
And yeah, you just go around the world and you fight monsters, and there's this kind of Japanese monk who's kind of just yelling nonsense at you while the music plays. Some of those battle teams go really hard.
Mhm.
I just they're great. I think it's pretty light as these things go. Like it's all about like, ooh, who's gonna be the king? And there are a couple swerves in the story of this game. I don't know if you didn't finish
I haven't
the story,
finished
did
it.
you?
I got like
Yeah.
45, 50 hours in. I got to the island area and finished that.
Yeah. Oh, you finished that because that's like the longest individual chunk. And
Yeah.
yeah, there's some like real major story swerves still upcoming for you. And if you ever feel like going back, I do think that it's very entertaining, even if there's nothing in there that is like so deep that nothing really stuck with me for months after the fact. But it was a really good time. It
Yeah.
looks and sounds great. Recommended for anyone who wants a Persona style, spend your time, try to figure out how to spend your days. It's actually a little easier than Persona in that front. I think I was
Much
able to
easier.
max out every single relationship in the game and do almost every single side quest,
Yeah.
like on my first playthrough. So
It's a great
Yep.
road trip game, like that, like
Yeah.
the Persona games, especially like back in the early 2000s when a lot of us first played like Persona 3, was kind of interesting because they weren't world spanning, because they took place in a small contained area. But this is like the first time that like the SMT main series games are like much bigger in scope, but this is like a Persona game that takes place across an entire continent instead of in one little city. But each area that you visit is like its own contained little thing, and so you do get a little bit of that like hominess that you felt like the longer you spent in the cities in Personas 3, 4, and 5. While also kind of like it's also like a really fun road trip game where it's just like these characters are like riding in this big crazy mech across the continent.
running car thing.
Yeah. I also
Getting assaulted by like other candidates for the president who are all these weird kind of rock
Yes.
star types.
Yes. Yeah, and it's also like, I mean, so when the king dies, there's like a giant magical floating head that like ascends into the sky and announces to the
It's really
world
something.
that there's like a magical like voting system that's going to
Popularity
determine
election.
Right, but it's like it's like magically determined though, so it's not like people are actually voting. It's just like who has the most positive vibes around them according to the giant magical floating head. It's cool. Like it does a lot of really cool things, and like Mike said, just the Atlas Persona team, like their art is second to none in all of video games. Like whatever you want to say about the Persona games and the flaws or the art in all of these games is incredible. So
Yep.
so yeah, I don't know, someday I'll finish it. I played a lot of it. I took a long road trip across the United States while I was playing this on my Steam Deck mostly, and then when I ended the road trip, that's when I stopped playing the game. So I don't, maybe someday I'll go on another long road trip and finish
Yeah.
Metaphor
Drive
Refantasio.
around the country again.
But hey, fantasy. Hey, Mike, do you think fantasy can affect the real world?
I guess so.
I don't.
I'm
It's the first thing
actually not
they.
even sure where
It's it's like the first question that the narrator asks you when you pick up the game.
I know, man, but by the end of that game, a lot of shit's happened. No, I don't think the fantasy in this game has affected my real world at
Okay,
all, except
all
that I had fun for 80 hours.
All right. So another notable runner up is I Am Your Beast, which I believe Joe had on his list.
Yep. So this is Strange Scaffold game.
One of the
It's
18,000 strange scaffold games that have been released in the last 2 years.
yeah. It's a small game. um as a lot of the Strange Scaffold games are. It it's very action movie. Like, okay, so you're this retired,
The basic
the
setup
best
is like
ex
Rambo
whatever, and they're
First Blood,
trying
right?
to kind of it like they're trying to you're in the woods, but they're trying to like get you to come out of retirement for one last job,
Right.
you know?
You're like an ex special
And
forces something or other.
right, and you're like, no, I don't want to do that. and they keep being like, well, we're gonna like drag you out of these woods and make you do one more mission, and basically you have to kill every single person who's coming into your woods to try to get you out. It's got some parkour stuff, as you can see Eric is doing here, but I mean, the thing kind of sold me on it was people. I played it during a Next Fest, and people were like, "Oh, it's kind of like a 3D Hotline Miami. Like it's like your goal is to go through the missions as quickly as possible, and then later you can go
Yeah.
back and replay them and do some like fun optional stuff like killing people with beehives and that kind of shit. But um, yeah, for the most part,
They're like tight little
bite-sized
contained levels that have a set course that's kind of your best path, and then your job is to like figure out what that is, kill everybody as fast as possible using whatever is at your disposal.
Yeah.
So it's
Joe gave it to me for Sixmas last year, so I did play a bunch of this. I haven't finished it, but yeah, a 3D Hotline Miami is a good description of it, because you're really trying to figure out, all right, what's my best way to get through here? There's no, not much room for error. You're gonna get cacked left and right because you make a wrong move or a wrong step or whatever. And you're like, all right, I gotta do this, and I'm gonna throw that to that guy, and then go over here, and sort of work your way through it, and then try to execute that.
Does this one have Xalavier Nelson rapping in it at all? I can't remember.
I don't think he raps in it at all, but he is the voice of the protagonist.
The Beast.
I think there actually might be a song. Yeah, I think there actually is a song at the end now that I'm thinking about it, but this was in 2024. It's been so long.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Strange Scaffold is definitely one of the more interesting and more prolific kind of indie studios out there right now. Like they are putting out like 2 or 3 games every year, which seems like a impossible pace to keep up. But just about all of their games are, if not great, they're at least like interesting and worth playing, and like have some kind of interest. So. Yeah, this is good. I like this. I played this as well, and I also thought it was quite fun. All right. We'll move on to our next runner-up, which is Crow Country.
Oh,
which I think I was the only one that played this. I don't know if anybody else played this.
I watched
all.
someone play about half of it on stream, so
Okay.
which I feel gives you a large part of the experience.
Yeah. So this is like a pretty.
I really liked the demo and I bought it, but I still haven't played the full game.
You should play it. It's really good. It's like a pretty simple kind of. It's like somewhere between like the PlayStation 1 and the Dreamcast, like in terms of the style of survival horror that it is. I think that it's quite a bit more friendly than like your Resident Evils or your Silent Hills in terms of both the your characters' efficacy and combat, and like the amount of space that you have in your inventory and stuff. Like it doesn't put a lot of restraint on you, and it doesn't really lean heavily into the survival aspect of it. It's also not really that scary. When I bring up the Dreamcast horror games, I'm specifically thinking of Blue Stinger and its spiritual successor. So what's the name of the like funhouse horror game? Illbleed. Yeah.
Oh my god.
To me, like tonally, this feels a lot like Illbleed. It's partially that's because
you will shit with fear.
yeah, partially because it's set in a fictional like Disney World kind of setting. Yeah, that's called that's the titular Crow Country, and the person that was like the head of the company that built the theme park is missing. You're a police detective who been like following the case and is like trying to find both him and his daughter. I think there's also a missing detective as well. I don't know. There's this. I would say that the story really goes some places towards the end, and also there's just like a lot of like it. I think it does a really great job of like the line between like fun theme park and like creepy place to be is really thin. and probably not since Silent Hill 3 have we gotten like such a fully realized version of that. Also, I really like the art style. Like it's way too clean to be a PlayStation 1 kind of game, but it is like low res in a kind of original way. Like I love the jointed characters
Blobbiness.
and stuff. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, she's like a Lego person kind of, or
Yeah.
like a Weeble.
And the way all
Not
the
Duplo, like Playmobil.
right,
Yeah.
yeah,
Playmobil.
yes, and the way all the like
Mhm,
the
yeah.
crows and the mascots and the stuff, it's it's really good. It's I think it is pulling from like a very old and traditional type of video. Definitely some some new and interesting things. So good.
Yeah, I might actually play this one someday.
Yeah.
It seemed neat.
It's not that scary either, for the most part.
Oh, looks pretty scary. See that crow? It's real big.
And actually, the combat system is probably the most like Signalis, but it's a lot easier to like read and aim the weapons compared to Signalis, where that could be a little frustrating sometimes. But it's definitely not as like intensely strange as Signalis is.
You don't crawl into a lot of holes.
No, I mean, listen, Signalis is like the best horror game. I
That's
think
an
of
all-timer.
the last, probably the best modern horror game by a pretty wide margin. Anyways, all right, let's move on to our next runner up. This game, I think this was probably my most disappointing game of 2024. Which
Got
is
him.
which
Is
is
it on your list?
no, it's not on my list. I don't know
On my list.
I don't know who had it
Oh.
on their list.
I voted for it.
Um,
He didn't vote for it because he was disappointed.
I still think this is I think this is a perfectly cromulent video game, but I had built up in my head the potential of this game to a degree that it could not live up to, unfortunately.
Oh.
Which is too bad.
You
So
need
it's-
like the indie version of this that's
Yes.
going to come out in 3 years.
yeah. Or even I mean I don't know what the sales were. This is The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I don't think I actually said the title, but
You did not.
watching the trailer for this and seeing like all the different weird things that you can summon with Zelda, and just the excitement of finally getting a Zelda game where you get to play as Zelda, and then having it kind of having a lot
Finger
of
on the monkey's
there's a-
paw, curl.
yeah, there's like a lot of items that just kind of do the same thing. And then also the interface for selecting items I think is quite bad and kind of not very intuitive. But like I said, I still think this is like a pretty good game, but I was hoping that it would be a great game. But I don't know, let's so Kurt, why did you have it on your
Oh, I had it on my list because I don't know that I can refute Eric's comments there or anything. I didn't have expectations about what it was gonna be that I didn't have realized, so I didn't have that problem. But I, as the resident puzzle game sicko and that sort of thing, I enjoyed kind of the conceit here of not everything is just whacking stuff with a sword and trying to get through it. It's there's more sort of creativity that's involved and so on, that I thought was fun. And they intentionally essentially designed it so that you couldn't just try and sort of power through, just going like, because eventually you get to a point where you get the ability to sort of become Link, but it's constrained in such a way that you can't just sort of use that as an easy button to get ahead. And there's a pretty clever sort of mechanism that exists so that you can sort of the things that you can create essentially have a cost. How much stuff you can create is limited by your sort of
like a
there's
magic
you
bar or
can see-
whatever MP?
yeah,
kind
you can
of thing?
see the little glowy thing that's following Zelda around, and the little triangles that form the tail after that essentially are your sort of magic power. And so each thing that you can create uses a few of those triangles. So however many triangles you have sort of defines how much you can do and what kind of things you can do. But you can, you know, you can learn the ability to, summon all kinds of different stuff, and you can like, all right, I'm gonna summon, a giant axe dude, and if I do that, I can only have one of them, but he's really powerful, but he's really slow. Do I want to do that, or do I, bring up a bunch of little bats instead and have them attack stuff and so on. So that was interesting. That the sort of graphic style is
Love the art
like yeah, the art style is really good, really enjoyable.
Like
Sort of
Link to the Past remake,
I was
or
about to
not
say
Link's
Link Between
Awakening.
Worlds.
Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening remake. That's the one. Yeah. That sort of kind of sort of plastic dollish looking thing,
Yeah.
but somehow it works for me.
Like a
Normally that would be
diorama kind of a look.
yeah. Yeah. But there's sort of they do interesting things with the mechanics that they give you, and you can sort of solve puzzles in different ways depending on which ways you want to do it. It's not completely freeform. It's not Scribble Knots or something like that where like, I'm gonna write Satan. You can't do that kind of thing. It is constrained. And Eric is correct that there's some of those options are I can summon any one of these like 5 different things, but they basically all do the same thing. All right, so I have my sort of go-to set of stuff that I have in my menu to bring up. I do agree that the way that you manage the creation of stuff is cumbersome. It does have the ability, so you just basically get a list that you can scroll through, and this you can sort it different ways. The best way, in my opinion, the best way in my opinion is you sort it based on the most recently used stuff, and that way when you're sort of moving along, you're like, all right, in this dungeon I need this thing, you know as a regular thing, so that'll be near the front, and then my sort of common stuff that I summon to like deal with monsters and all that stuff is sort of after that. So you don't have to go all the way through your you can end up with, I don't know, 60 something.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff
There's
that
a
kind
lot
of
of
all
things.
does this like similar or the same thing. And
Yeah.
that was kind of where it lost me. Like there's like 18 different types of rock that
Yeah. The puzzles that
you could have
they
just
make
given
out
me
of those
one
things
thing
and all that
that
stuff.
does the thing that the rock does and not kludged up my inventory with a bunch of stuff that I
Right. I agree with that. Yeah.
It's not
But,
like I
you know,
said, it's not that it's bad, it's just that I had really, really high hopes and wait.
Yeah, I essentially liked that it was it is a Zelda game in the, sort of
Yeah. Overworld
aesthetics
dungeons
and
and
overworld and all that kind of stuff, but yet is different. It's not, well, I'm basically retreading A Link to the Past with a different map and a different set of bosses or whatever, but like all the basic vocabulary is the same. It wasn't that.
yeah.
Just part of what I liked
I hope
about
they
it.
get another crack at it. I think there's a great I think there's
Yeah.
a kernel of a great game here. I just don't I do love that you can
Yeah,
make a
yeah.
bed and take a nap in it. That's amazing.
Yep. And you can make different beds. That is
that
one
heal
thing.
heal
Different
you
bed.
faster. Yeah.
Heal you.
You get
heal
better
you at
better
different
quality
speeds.
bed. Yeah.
Yeah, better bed is get you where you want to go
All
faster.
right. Another runner up that Joe played and liked was called Mullet Mad Jack. I played the demo of this. I thought it was pretty cool. Another one with a great art style.
Yes, the demo.
Yeah,
There's like, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say, I'm just gonna say that depending on whose name I draw for Sticksmith, someone might end up getting this game. So, this is a run-based first-person shooter with the 80s anime aesthetic, and I don't watch a lot of anime now, but when I was an edgy young man in the 90s, I watched a lot of it, and a lot of that stuff was from the 80s and has this like I mean Akira obviously is going to be like a huge influence, stuff like that. But basically the whole conceit is that as you're seeing in the title crawl here, you live for 10 seconds unless people send you likes to put dopamine in your blood and extend your lifespan, and people will only send you likes if you kill
Right.
robots.
It's like roguelike Crank, Doom,
Yes.
Akira.
Yes, it's exactly like that.
Those are your
it-
4 points
like,
of reference for sure.
Yeah. If you, I mean, I don't know if the demo is still like because the game's been out now for obviously a long time. I played the demo during Next Fest. I don't know if it's one of those that there's no demo anymore. But if
It's
you
on
play
Game
the
Pass right
demo
now.
of this game and you like it, like that's the whole game. There's not like it doesn't turn into like a management sim in the end or something. Like it's this the whole
That'd be
time.
kind of amazing
so,
if it did.
yeah. But there's melee
incredibly violent.
weapons. It's super violent, which I love. Um, you get a perk at the end of each floor, and like some of them are like functionally useless. Like one of them makes him talk more, and one of them makes him talk less. So
Right.
if you want more one-liners, you can like use a like a buff on that. But yeah, I actually played more of it after we finished the spreadsheet, and if I had gone back and adjusted, which I didn't do, I probably would have bumped it up a little bit because I actually did really like this game. But hadn't played it all the way through yet when I put it on my list, and now I have, and it's pretty rad.
Second best fake chat in a video game from 2024, just behind Egg Squeeze.
I was thinking about Egg Squeeze the other day.
Yeah. Yeah, I had an egg-based top 5 games for 2024 that didn't make it into this show, but there's like Egg Squeezer, Touch Egg. Arctic Eggs.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Which
forgot about
we
Arctic
might
Eggs.
touch if there's some time left at the end. Talk about some of that stuff, but yeah, I don't. Medjack's like it was like a great demo, but I just didn't. I didn't get. It was just one I didn't get to. Seems like fun. All right, another runner up is Home Safety Hotline.
Hell
Oh
yeah.
man,
This
Wait
is
for the time.
yeah, there's like a burgeoning subgenre of games that's like they're like that are like best as like single player co-op experiences. There's like the Platform 8, right? Like those kind of games.
Yep.
And then there's like this kind of thing, this Home Safety Hotline, and it's kind of ilk where it's like this is basically the setup for this game is that you are a person that is doing tech support kind of, and people are calling you and telling you what weird things are happening in their home, and your job is to like look at a list of potential causes for the thing that's happening, and then you're supposed to like tell them what it is and what they can do to like alleviate the problem. And the game starts out with totally normal things like mice and cockroaches, and then at some point they add more stuff to the list and it becomes like Hobbs and metamorphosis and like bed teeth and all kinds of
I
crazy
I don't want bed
horrors.
I regret to inform you have bed teeth. Sorry.
Yeah. And yeah, we played through it, and there's also like a Christmas DLC.
Seasonal employee.
Yeah, we played through both of them on stream. I had a great time. I had way more fun, like collaboratively trying to figure out what was going on than I would have. I played it by myself.
Yep.
But I don't even remember who put this on the list, but I'm really glad that it is because it's really cool and really clever.
I think this was me and Mike both had this. on
Yeah,
the
I
list.
also voted for it. We thought about also like would we update our list because it's been a year. In the end, I don't think anyone actually did. But I knew that even if I changed my list, I was not going to take my point away from Home Safety Hotline.
It's like, so I'm not like super into SCP stuff, but I feel like things that like I love the concept of that kind of collaborative fiction, and also just like the weird idea of it, and that's part of why I liked Control so much. And this has a similar vibe, except in this you're working in a call center, which is also like I don't technically work in a call center anymore, but basically like my career has been that type of work.
Mhm.
So this game like hit all the buttons for me for sure. I think this game is fantastic.
Also, the voice acting on the calls is incredible.
Yes.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
and the calls you get from like your manager and stuff as the
Yeah.
game goes on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And then when you
yeah.
get promoted at the minor spoilers, you get promoted for being such a good employee at the end, and the way you get promoted is really really good.
Good. Good time. All right, let's see.
Also,
Another
check out your bed for bed hobs.
Yeah, check
and look
yeah,
out for
yeah.
bed teeth.
Bed teeth.
And,
you don't want
uh,
bed
Isn't that
teeth.
one like a little kid gets like what was it, a false closet or something? What is it in the?
That's in the seasonal employee thing. I
Was
think.
it? Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I think
okay.
so.
There was a. All right.
There's a lot of good
Just
stuff.
Yeah, not everyone's home is that safe in the end.
Yeah.
All right. So another runner up, another really, really good game that I had on my list is called Crypt Custodian. This is an overhead action like adventure platformer game. It's kind of like imagine Hyper Light Drifter, but you are a cartoon cat with a broom.
I'm imagining it.
Yeah, and that's basically what this is. It's not a super complicated premise or, something that we haven't really seen before, but I really like the art style, and it just feels really good to play. Like you start out with like basically no moves, and then it's like it's a little Metroidvania-ish in that you get a bunch of like you can dash, and then you can air dash, and then you can like burrow under the ground to go under obstacles, and then you eventually get this like spirit form of your character that you can like use to like go around things uh or like traverse platforms and like teleport to it. It's like a pretty basic suite of moves, but I had a really really nice time just kind of like playing through this. It's also the basic concept is that you are a cat that has died, and you're in like the you're in the like the whatever, you're at like at the gates of heaven basically trying to get in. You're in like limbo state, and there's like this frog lady that makes the rules about who gets into heaven and who doesn't, and if you don't get in, then you're trapped in purgatory forever. And the job she gives you is janitor, and your job is to like go around and like use your broom to like sweep up all the stuff. But there's like a bunch of other weird little cartoon animals that have been also trapped in purgatory, and you get to help them out, and you get to hang out with them, and they're like a fun little group of, I don't know. If you're just looking for like a pretty conceptually simple and not that difficult like action platform game, like this is about as good as you're gonna get. So
Nice.
yeah, I don't think anybody else played
Yeah.
it, but it's like
No, I
20
have
bucks,
picked it
I
up.
think.
I liked the previous game from this guy, Islets.
Yeah, he has a
13 bucks.
he has a very like
right now.
unique and art style that I like a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's good. All right, let's see. Another runner up, mouth washing. I don't.
How is that just a
Yeah.
runner up?
Did you play this, Joe?
How am I the only one who voted for mouthwashing? What is wrong
I
with you?
played it
know.
when
It's
it
okay.
came out.
So actually, Kurt, I'm kind of surprised you didn't play it.
I didn't play
think-
it when we were voting.
Ah,
I played it later.
I
don't know that I was
this
on my
is
list.
a sci-fi horror game that like I played the demo, Next Fest demo, and it grabbed me, and then when it came out, I bought it right away and I finished it in I think 2 or 3 sittings. Like it's just it's not a very
Your
long
PS2
game.
aesthetics.
Yeah, it's very it feels like something that you
Very
may have
ugly.
started life as a like a haunted PS1 demo disc kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean,
know?
there is a publisher that is called Critical Reflex who published this game and has a whole bunch of games, and they all kind of look like this. They're like somewhere between a PlayStation 1 and a PlayStation 2 game, and they all have like a fuzzed out kind of CRT filter on them, and like it's a real aesthetic. And Most of them are kind of
Yeah.
like horror games. I've really been enjoying what they've been. The developer of this game also there's a free game on Steam called How Fish is Made, which is just like a really
I've been
weird.
wondering about that.
It's a
yeah.
really weird, trippy, like nonsense game where you are like a fish, kind of like jumping through all this crazy machinery. Um, but anyway, yeah. I didn't play through this game, but I watched it get played, and I thought it was it's like a pretty standard like sci-fi horror story that is like really well told and well pulled off.
It
There's
gave
like a
me a little bit of 30 Flights of Loving vibe as well because of the way the story is told. There's sort of this weird disjoint
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
that's happening.
there's a pretty significant misdirect in this game that I don't want to spoil. I mean, even just saying that, people will start looking for it or whatever. But like,
Right.
I won't.
I really
And you can't
I
make me.
I really enjoyed it. The cast is I think well fleshed out. Like they're archetypes, but they're more than two-dimensional archetypes, I think, generally speaking. I also really like I said, the sort of the Eric was saying, between PS1 and PS2 kind of aesthetic, and just like this sequence here like feels genuinely like a nightmare.
very grimy.
The opening sequence where you're like, you go through these hallways and they start to like curve in on themselves and become sort of like non-Euclidean, and also the Pony Express mascot Polly shows up in the weirdest places, and all the stuff about like um all the sort of corporate satire stuff, which is pretty on the nose, but I still think it's funny about
Yep.
like,
Yeah.
if you you know if you misbehave, basically they dock your pay. You won't get paid if you don't do this, if you don't do this, and remember to buy everything through the company store to get all your poly merchant. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just
I know there's it does some playing with, since it all takes place from first person, it does a little bit of playing with who you actually are when you're playing as in, like, sometimes you're not sure which of the characters you are. I
Right.
think that's pretty neat. I think there's a relationship between the character you play the most and the one woman on the ship that I kind of didn't really work for me. Like, it just kind of like I didn't really feel anything about it. I think I was supposed to feel kind of like disgusted or icky about it, but it just was like, kind of had me like rolling my eyes with how obvious it was at a certain point or something. I don't know. There was just like a couple of story beats. That's why I didn't end up having it on my list. But I still think I still think it's like notable and like really, I think it looks really so. Especially that there's like
Yeah.
there's this
I-
character model of, like, at the beginning here, you're
Mhm.
playing as the captain and you intentionally put your spaceship in the line of a meteor or an asteroid, um and and like later on in the game you see the captain and it's like this really screwed up, like burned up husk of a person with these bandages wrapped around his face and like this one crazy eye poking out, and that model is also in How Fish is Made, and you can tell that like
Oh.
it really feels like they made that model and then we're like, this thing is so creepy and weird looking that we're like going to build our whole next
gonna
game
use it
about it,
again.
and,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what happened. And it's it is that good. Like, I could totally see why they put that back in here. It's a very it's an image that's very difficult to get out of your brain in it. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's also, I think, one of the things that I very briefly is it similar to Alien. It's like a very blue collar sci-fi story,
Yeah, I
which
do like that.
you
Yeah.
don't get a ton of that.
Right. The people on the spaceship, they aren't like geniuses and they're not astronauts or engineers for the most part. They're just like people that their job is just to like move cargo around through space.
They're space truckers. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're good at the task that they specifically have to do, but they don't, like, their competency isn't in like repairing a spaceship or what.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Um
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Another runner up, which I think was in early access most of last year and then came out this year. But is a very fine game called Deep Rock Galactic Survivor.
Hell yeah. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Mike.
actually, you're capturing footage from the 1.0. I haven't touched the 1.0, so I should probably get in there and give it a shot at some point. Obviously, since Vampire Survivors, we had a lot of these games where you run around and stuff happens, and that's mostly what happens in this game too. But what I
You
don't
run
like
around and
about
stuff happens.
It's true.
but what I don't like about
No,
Vampire
I know it's
Survivors,
true.
Video
It's just
game.
funny. Yeah,
I
it's
don't
just
like
funny.
Vampire Survivors as much because I find it a little bit mushy and just it doesn't feel like what you do has much of an impact. Whereas there's just enough like stuff that you have to interact with directly and intentionally in this game that I find like it really keeps you more kind of motivated. You can see from the video like one of the big parts of this game is that you can tunnel through rock, but doing that slows you down and then it creates passages that the enemies can follow you through, so you're kind of constantly juggling like, should I be running, should I be digging, should I just kind of stand my ground and kill as many enemies so I can gain experience. And yeah, it's got that, it's got the sense of humor of Deep Rock Galactic, which is, I like it. I won't say that it's like, I wasn't in stitches the whole time, but I
Not
think it's kind of good.
hilarious, but you go like, a lot. Like, oh,
Yeah.
It makes you feel good.
I put a whole chunk of time into this game last year and had a swell time. I did I think I found my difficulty limit up at around like the 4th tier of levels or something like that. It's just you play the same levels over and over again, but they get harder and they impose challenges on you. So you have to, if you want to keep advancing, you have to fulfill challenge conditions like get this one level up to one weapon up to a super high level, or I don't know.
So they've added a bunch to the game, and they've added things called masteries, which I think are fun because there's class masteries, which is like I'm gonna be this character and this type of that. Because
There's more
the
variety
4
in the characters.
classes. Yeah, well, there's the 4 characters from Deep Rock Galactic, right? There's the driller, the scout, the engineer, and the
Other guy.
other
The
one,
heavy gunner guy, right?
Yeah, but each one of those 4 has a subtype, and then you pick one of those. And so for the mastery, it's either you pick your class and you do 5 stages, and there's something else. Oh, but they're really small maps. And so it's like you're in a really tight contained area. And so it's either you do that or there's the weapon masteries, which is you only have one weapon. So, but those are only 3 stages. So they kind of move pretty quick because it's like the weapon ones in particular, it's only 3 stages and all your power-ups are for one weapon. So yeah, like some of them can be kind of hard because like some weapons are
Not a great weapon.
yeah, but like you get so many
They're just, like-
upgrades that eventually it's like you have like a level 40 weapon or something and you just like plow through. So it's like it's just different.
The idea of
but I think
like a
those were neat.
Vampire Survivors have like a set of bespoke challenges and aren't just trying to like.
Well, and it's also so there's like stage masteries too, which are long ones. They're like 10 stages. So you have to basically do it and loop. And then there's like weekly and daily challenges where it's like, you do 50% less damage or you take more shits faster or whatever, right? And so there's all sorts of stuff you can do. And then there's the overall progression stuff where you're mining resources and you upgrade your like crit damage or your health or whatever permanently. So there's a lot of like longevity to it. And then on top of all that, 1.0 came out and they're like, fuck it, gear. And now you have to like you do have like loadouts and shit where you get things that drop and they just give you permanent stat boosts and stuff like, oh, if you have this equipped, you can equip all acid weapons. So when you level up, even if your character can't use like a particular, like the acid sprayer, here it is, you can use it if you want, things like
More
that.
variety.
So there's a lot of just like stuff going on. So it's not just like, hey, remember Vampire Survivors? You walk around, and it's like, yeah, well,
I think
you do that too. But
it loses some of like obscene craziness of like late stage Vampire Survivors where your computer is melting because there's so much stuff on the screen all at the same time. But it's definitely forces
Numbers
you.
go brrr.
Yeah, it definitely forces you to be a lot more thoughtful about like your pathing and grades and I know.
I just want to call out the explodey bugs because I think they're one of the coolest parts of the game. Is that there's those
Yeah.
kind of orange bugs mixed in with all the other ones, and they'll explode if they get close to you. But you can bait them into exploding and clearing out the enemies. So
Nice.
you're kind of constantly judging your distance from those guys and like dancing in just far enough to trigger a bunch, and then hoping to get out again. And that way you can build up some kind of risky loadouts early on where you don't have a lot of firepower because you're trying to get a certain specific set of upgrades or something.
Yeah.
You can just kind of rely on those guys, and if you're careful, you can get them to do the work for you.
Cool. I have just one more thing to say. Rock and Stone.
Rock and Stone.
Exactly. All right.
The
oh.
last stage, very very briefly. There's these healing crystals that heal you, and you can mine them. And when you die, your character goes, "Good die, beautiful crystal." Okay, thank you. That's it.
Okay, thank you. I see another next runner up is Animal Well. Are the animals well?
Animal Well. Yeah,
That's a
I
Kirk
was gonna
game.
say Kurt
That's
played
me.
that. Yeah,
that's me.
I actually played it
that.
too. I also enjoyed
played
it.
some of it.
I heard of it.
Animal Well is a Metroidvania done by one person who spent
A.
Donkeys.
a
Well.
long time. Yeah, his name is John Animal.
Oh, like the well.
And I will
sorry.
note one thing is that some people, there was some conversation when this first came out where people were like, oh, it's like Tunic or like other like
Void
like
Stranger.
Strange. Yeah, where there was like there's a more here going on than you think, and yada,
Inscription.
Yada. Like, yeah,
there's a name for it, but I'm not going to use it because I fucking hate it.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
Boomer shooter.
Someone I saw said proposed learn action as opposed to search action. I'm not sure what I think about that. But regardless,
doesn't roll off the tongue.
Regardless,
what are we doing?
I feel
what
that
are we
that
doing
is
here?
that is a misdirection, a poor description, because I do not feel that it is.
Because I didn't
works
learn
in the
shit.
same way. Yeah,
it's mostly just a puzzly.
There are
exploration
there
game.
are things you're learning and stuff like that, but it's not like in some of these other games where it's like, oh, or Outer Wilds was the other thing people were like, Outer Wilds, Tunic. This is like, if you knew X, Y, and Z, you could have done this. Like that.
Like you could have done this from the
doesn't
very
work like that.
beginning of the game.
Yeah, it does not have that in general.
There are actual items and things that upgrade your kit, right? Like
yes, and so that's actually the thing. It's like, oh, once I have this thing, then I can do X, Y, and Z, which is like, yeah, but that's a Metroidvania. Like, I got a thing, and it lets me do this thing that I couldn't do before.
Well,
That's
some
not
of the
the same
uses of
thing.
the items are a little hidden.
There are clever things you can do with those, but like if you don't have that item, you can't do that thing.
No.
Whereas in those other games, it's like, you know, if you know what's going on in Outer Wilds,
you can finish the game
in one loop.
10 minutes.
Yeah. But regardless, like that was my rant at the beginning when this game came out, and people were like, "Oh, I heard it's like this." I'm like, "No, it's not like that."
The puzzle platformer Metroidvania.
Stop propagating that lie. Yeah, exactly. That said,
that it's a
I really enjoyed it.
Don't
no,
do it.
I would not say that.
You lost.
Don't you fucking say it, Alex. Don't you fucking do it.
Sorry, say what? What was it that you don't want me to say? Can you just tell me one time so I'll know?
Shut the fuck up, Alex. It has. I like the art style.
Yeah, the art style is fantastic. Look at the creepy face on that
audio
platform that just raised up from the water.
Yeah, the aesthetic is really good. It's interesting. It's enjoyable to experience it and find out what all is in this in this well, and
I wouldn't say it's always enjoyable.
Animals,
not
right?
always enjoyable, but yeah, there are animals. There are a number of animals.
There is definitely one part in this game where I realized what I had to do and my stomach dropped out on me. I was like, "Oh no!"
Is enjoy it.
Was it swapping the disc?
It did involve a frisbee, yes.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
When
I finally pieced
that's a real punch in the balls.
It's like, you really want me to do that? There's some messed up animals in this well.
Yeah.
I just want you to.
When you say enjoyable, is that a pun?
Yes, it absolutely is. What a gullible. What a nin cow poop. Thank you, Bugs Bunny.
That little bunny.
Anyway, the other thing I will say is that so the animal freaks, the sickos that really are into this, they will tell you that it has at least what they found so far 4 layers
Oh my.
of stuff.
Like a chirpumple.
I have done 2 of those layers, and then I found out what the other 2 layers are, and I said, "Fuck that."
I guess
This is
I,
a
I
guy
guess I
who
did
played-
1.5.
Part of
Hold
why
on,
I said
hold on.
"fuck that" is
Hold on.
that those I'm gonna tell you in a second. Is that, as Mike said, you'll find a thing, you'll find a tool, and then you'll be like, "Oh, I got this tool
hey,
now, and I can." do
Kurt,
X, Y,
Alex
and
is
Z."
right there.
Once you've done a lot of the game, like you've unlocked a lot of the map and all this stuff, it starts to become okay, I have this tool. Where have I not used it? Where might there be a thing that I could do with it? And you have to roam all over the fucking map, back and forth, going like, oh, maybe this thing is over here. And there are limited fast travel options and stuff like that, but it is really tedious after a while, being like, okay, I got this, and I can probably use that over there. I got to make my way all the way over to that end, and then fuck around with that.
Everybody
and then
that
go back
makes
over here.
this type of game needs to make it so there's a way to annotate.
I think honestly,
we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
It might have been designed also to be played kind of via Discord. Like if you and 5
There is
friends are playing this game and you can
Yeah.
separate that work between them, I think that could be more fun.
There's actually explicitly one puzzle in this game, which Eric went past. There's a rabbit drawing. There's a puzzle related to that is literally impossible for you to do without other people's help,
Wait.
because it is split up between.
Versions of the
I think
game
you
or
need.
something?
I think you need. Yeah. I can't remember how many people
Like
you
different
need.
platforms or
it's like
something?
32 or something like that. Some multiple
Wow.
of 2, if I recall correctly. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I just looked
So,
that up once I found that out.
I-
All right, what's this thing supposed to be? All right, done.
I need to know, Kurt, because
Yeah.
you're saying you got 2 layers deep into this and you're like, fuck that, but you're still playing Blueprints. So
Yeah.
So like
Blueprints
what?
is way better than this game.
Okay, well, I felt like I got to a point where I was not moving. I mean, we'll probably talk about Blueprints next year. I got
Yeah,
we're
Blueprints
definitely gonna
has
talk-
nothing.
Yeah.
We didn't even know
I-
Blueprints existed when we made this list.
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
not relevant.
Well, sure. It's relevant to what Kurt is saying now because now he has played Blueprints though. So
Yeah.
I'm just
So
kind of
the
shocked
difference
because I got to a
between
point in
them is
Blueprints where I was
that-
just like,
You just died. You
Yes.
just disappeared.
Yeah, Joe.
Stop
Yeah.
existing?
You just like, yeah. You lost Joe?
oh, no, I'm still sorry. Okay,
You said
I
you were
felt
just
like I
and
would
then
the amount
stopped.
of time, yeah. Well, because you were also talking, so I was gonna let you finish. But I got to a point where I just felt like I was spending a lot of time to make very minimal progress in Blueprints, and that for me was just like that's enough of this. And that makes me
Sure.
worried that there's more that's worse in this game than it is in Blueprints. If you put
I will
this
say
down,
if you're interested, like you're a Metroidvania fan, like
Mhm.
you can get like playing the just the first layer of
Mhm.
this game, you will get to a satisfying conclusion, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
the ending
it's
is
worth
good.
playing
Like
it to that point. Yeah.
it's a straightforward puzzly game, and you get a cool
the-
ending, and then you stop.
Yeah, the second, the second, and certainly certainly the third and fourth, are not at all necessary for you to feel like I got what I want out of this game. I don't think.
Would you consider the second layer to be just like 100%ing the egg
It's getting all
collection?
the eggs, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I didn't.
So
do
it's
that.
it's roll credits.
There's
Get all the eggs.
egg game number 4. We almost got a
Yeah,
top 5 egg
there's-
game.
Year of the Egg.
Yeah, you're the egg. We're almost
There's
there.
getting all the rabbits,
Uh-huh.
and then there's another thing.
I don't. Is it?
This is the game. I just want to say this is the game that at certain points will turn your printer on and start printing stuff out without you asking.
Fuck that.
Oh, really?
Fuck that.
Okay,
Fuck
good.
that. That game is not allowed on my computer. That is
I
bullshit.
don't have a printer.
Alex is very into.
I don't like
computer
games that are
security.
too cute. That are like, no, I'm gonna take over your appliance, and then it's gonna print out a thing, and then you gotta go in Discord. You gotta talk to 50 people and fucking figure this shit. No, dude, fuck you. I don't have to do that. You do that shit.
Yeah,
I'm
do they
fucking leaving. That is.
if you don't have a printer,
Do you know how stupid I am?
if
I'm
you
not smart enough for that.
if you don't have a printer, do they just like put an XML or a PDF?
It'll just
No,
say
they turn on
PC
Alex's
load
printer.
letter.
Oh, they turn on Alex. Right.
It'll just say PC.
Mine's not
load
even
letter.
plugged in.
All right.
I'd
Doesn't
be
matter,
impressed.
All right.
Doesn't matter.
Moving
Welcome to
on
level 4.
to another excellent runner-up is Steam World Heist 2, which I believe Mike had
Oh
on his
man,
list.
I really enjoyed this game. Eric, you played a bit of this.
I
didn't
did. I
you, or
played like
Kurt?
11
Somebody
hours
played?
of it.
I played a lot of it.
Yeah, it's good.
Played a lot of it. I just really,
I got
I mean, I
got
love
very
the
close
first
to the
Steam World
end.
Heist.
me too.
I think I know Eric is a SteamWorld Dig 2 guy, and I like that game a lot, but SteamWorld Heist 1 was my favorite game in this series until this one came out. And I do think that it does enough cool stuff with the team building to make this one put it over the top, as it were. It's just a really nice comfort game for me, like tactical XCOM in 2D, two great tastes, smush them together.
Yes, a tactical, but also like
it has this really weird
physics.
soundtrack by a bunch of people who dress up like robots. But
Yeah.
also like Tank War.
Yeah.
Yeah,
went
it's
to
like
ricochet and
platforming
bounce your
Tank War
shots.
XCOM. And you got a cool boat and you drive around on the ocean and
Yep.
yeah, I don't know. I just liked it a lot.
It's a little like the
I
Normandy.
don't feel like I have anything particularly deep to say about it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot
What?
too, but near the end, about 3/4 of the way through the game, I felt like it started to get grindy in ways that I wasn't interested in dealing with. And so I put it down for a bit, and
Grindy?
I haven't gotten back to it. Yeah.
I definitely I burned out because I just kind of felt like I was doing the same thing over and over again. Like I kind of like figured out the way to win. I played on like the second difficulty or the first one up from normal. I forget what it's. There's a bunch of difficult settings. Yeah, it's cool. It's like the first Steam World Heist, and then you add this like overworld layer to it. And like Mike said, there's like a cool team
Yep.
building thing. So your ship is like the Normandy from Mass Effect. You have all these like different little weirdo characters to chat with in between missions. I don't think any of them are particularly memorable or like, if I was building a team to do a heist, I don't think I would put any of them. It's good.
I don't remember any of them. I played
Yeah.
like 25 hours of this game, but I had a great time.
Yeah, there's like the lady with the big hammer, and I don't know. Yeah, it's good for sure. All right. Moving on to Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, which I think Kurt had on his list. Like,
That's
what
a
if-
good one.
Speaking of puzzles,
what if
Hello?
Resident Evil but
Uh-oh.
puzzles all the time?
right? All puzzles and no zombies.
Yeah.
What about that? Yeah. Also, Anthony is now here.
Hello.
Um,
Perfect timing.
yeah.
To back you up on this
Um,
one.
Yeah, so I think Eric put it in a good nutshell. I had a lot of fun playing this game, as noted. You wander around a mansion, you run into puzzles of all different kinds.
Very spooky puzzles.
Sometimes they're code breaking, yeah. Sometimes they're pattern matching. Sometimes they're other stuff.
Like they're almost all lock combinations.
There
That
are
is not-
two things underlined in red in this letter. Maybe those will be important later.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks really good. I really like the aesthetic and sort of art direction and stuff on it.
Like Sun
Um,
City kind of.
yeah.
Mostly monochrome, but with a few colors here and there to make things like pop out.
Yeah.
I thought
Exactly.
you said Sim City.
Yeah, it's and all the characters go. "Burp, burp, 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 burp." Yeah.
The splines are all reticulated.
This is a hard one to
Sometimes
talk
Bowser
about
shows
without
up.
like kind of like spoiling the
Yeah.
puzzles. It's just like,
Yeah.
but it's I played a bunch of it. I was sick home from work one day and played a bunch. And then like when I went back to it a couple days later, I kind of couldn't remember what I was doing because I was sick when I was playing it, and so that I never went back after that because I was like, I'm gonna have to restart this to understand what it is that I was trying to do when I gave up. But
Yeah.
Yep. I don't. So does this? So does this? Is this like a? Is this a puzzle game like Outer Wilds or Void Stranger where it's like you peel back, like it turns out to be like a different thing than you thought it was, or is this like mostly just like
No.
a big puzzle box that
No.
you're trying to solve?
It's
That
a
Okay.
it's a puzzle box you're trying to solve. It's telling a very specific story,
Right.
and you're just working your way through that story. It's not, there's no rug pull. There's no
meta thing that you figure out. Oh my
Right,
god,
exactly.
I wasn't seeing this the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
If only
will
I'd
note-
if only I'd drawn a penis in my seal at the beginning of the game, then everything would be different.
Exactly. Then I would have, if it hadn't been for those meddling penises. I have two explicit complaints. One,
Uh-huh.
there's a puzzle in which you find a piano, and there is
You texted
there's
me about
music.
this.
Yeah, there's music.
I also
on the
really like what's
piano,
happening on screen here.
and the
I don't know what you're talking
puzzle,
about.
and then there's the keyboard, and you can interact with keyboard. And I will note, as someone who can read music and knows music theory,
Mhm.
those things fucked me out of solving the puzzle.
Were they wrong?
because they didn't matter.
Oh, okay.
You're sitting there going like, all right, well, that's a C sharp.
Uh-huh.
This is this and the thing. And these are
It was just for like the
none of
aesthetic value.
None of that fucking matters.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
it
bad.
has nothing to do with it. You knew too much. You couldn't do the puzzle.
When you're making a puzzle game, like if it has to be relevant to the puzzle, or it has to be obviously not relevant.
That's right. Right.
So,
That's right.
You should make it obviously not
and,
relevant
yeah.
because you don't want to make it obligatory either, because then a lot of people won't be able to solve the puzzle
Right.
Right. Yeah.
if they can't read music.
Right.
Yeah. The other one was there was an explicit puzzle that I knew what I needed to do and what I wanted to do with it. Like you have a little journal in your thing, in your HUD or whatever, in the menus. You have a journal you can pick up, and it tells you about threads that you're going after and notes and all this kind of stuff. And there was one, I'd been playing this game, I was like 3/4 of the way through it, and I was like, oh, I know what the answer is for this thing, and I, for the life of me, could not remember where the fuck this particular thing was, and I wandered in everywhere I could walk in this mansion, over and over again, going like, where the fuck is this book that I need to? I don't remember where I saw it, and it's not, and eventually I just looked it up on the internet and was like, oh, it's here, and I'm like, I've been in that room like 4 fucking times.
And find the book.
Just in the last hour. There's no fucking book there. And it turns out there was a book there in one little corner of the screen. It's doing
you
the
got
Resident
pixel
Evil,
hunted,
fixed
bud.
perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Like, oh, if you'd have gone over here and stood in this exact spot, then you would have gotten the highlight and you could have interacted with it.
Could have made it a red book.
Yeah,
Blue
the
or
worst
something.
thing is like you found it the first time too. It's just when you had to go
Yeah.
find it again. Yeah.
Yeah, when I had to go back. Yeah, exactly. Because I wouldn't have had the puzzle then otherwise.
Yeah.
Right.
Alrighty.
And I think
God, it's
Anthony and
funny-
I exchanged complaints about like the interface.
Yep.
A little clunky.
I think at the time, like you can't go back or something like that. You can't do
It's
there's no back.
it's because
button or
all the
something.
There's no back
buttons
button.
there's like it's
Yeah,
it's
there's
kind
no
of
back
trying
button.
to be like a one button game. But what
Yeah.
you really want is A to be enter and B to back out, but it doesn't work that
Yes.
way. Like it's almost meant to be
Exactly.
played with just
Yeah.
a mouse or something. It's very strange.
Well, I think it's meant to
Or-
be played on mobile.
Maybe.
And
Yeah.
but I don't think there is a mobile version.
Right.
But
But
that's
it's
how
also
it would
like
be
a
if you were
third person
tapping on
game.
stuff.
So you want to play it
Right.
like you would a Resident Evil game with a controller, and it's very strange. That it's just
Yeah.
a strange.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Just make B exit the map or the menu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Right.
So I had
Maybe you
3
can mod it
complaints
on
now.
Steam.
Possible.
I think you think you can, and I think I probably should have. I would have had a better time with it.
All right.
Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed this one. It did not work for me. Cool art style, too many luck puzzles.
Do some math
Yeah.
and find the
I
combination.
feel like I learned something about myself playing it, because as much as I love puzzles, it was sort of like I don't want to have to do a random arithmetic puzzle every time like I guess I knew that from like Professor Layton has never really worked for me.
Uh-huh.
But this is like the fancier version where it's like throw a puzzle every time you want to open a door, and I was like, I don't want
Maybe
the
not.
same kind of puzzle ever. Yeah,
I
Yeah,
got
but
Rudy
it's-
though.
there
Rudy's a
was-
good dog.
Rudy is a good dog.
Rudy is a good dog,
All
and
right.
this is a good game.
Okay.
I
Can you
have
pet the
nothing.
dog?
More puzzle
nothing to
variety
add.
would have made
Yes.
it much better. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, move on.
All right. All right. Another runner up. We're almost done with the runner ups. We're almost to the top 10. Let's carve our
okay,
way
good.
through. Children of the
Like
Sun.
5 more to go.
Yeah.
So I streamed this a pretty good amount.
Gave this to me for Sticksmith.
And yeah, I gave it to you for Sticksmith. This is a game about a psychic girl who is using one bullet in her sniper rifle to kill an entire cult.
Yes, this is like a puzzle action game.
And it's like a puzzle action game, yeah. And so it's a sniper thing, but once you snipe, like once you take the first shot, then you're just guiding the same bullet all the way around the map and
When
trying to
if your bullet
one-shot
hits
everybody.
right, if your bullet hits a person or another like explicit target, like the tank of a gas or like a gas tank on a car, then you can
Yep.
redirect the
bird.
bullet. So it's like magical ricochet powers.
Yes.
And so like it starts out pretty simple. There just being like 3 or 4 guys standing around in an open spot, and then eventually you get more and more powers that like curve the bullet or like change the bullet's trajectory midair. And eventually like you're like bouncing a bullet like through a window and then like through a door and then like ping ponging it back and forth in a courtyard, and then they eventually introduce more enemies, like more complicated mechanics that take like specific types of shots to kill stuff.
Right. You have to hit them in a certain place, or
yeah.
you have to hit them with a super high velocity bullet, which means you have to be a certain distance away.
Right.
And they have to
Like
be
a
a certain
charge
distance away
shot.
from the last impact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you hit a guy that's right next to the dude with the helmet on, you can't penetrate the helmet because you don't have enough runway to get there. So you have to like do those in a different order, basically. There's a really fun, there's one stage towards the end where you're on a car and it like changes kind of the whole, not the whole way the game plays, but it's like quite different from any of the other stages. And now apparently there's like an arcade sort of score attack endless mode type of deal that I haven't
Yeah.
even touched.
It's a real
that
like
was added after launch.
free form like score attack puzzle solving thing that I found very satisfying. Like it is also like a kind of a fun thing to replay the levels, because like the first time you do it, you just like are trying to like scramble to get through it, and then once you kind of learn where everything is, you can optimize your layouts. And there's also like friend and global leaderboards for all the levels, so like run optimization is a thing that you can do. That was pretty clever. Also another like nice looking game. This one is definitely like full on like PlayStation era, but still kind of grimy. Nice.
Yep. Yeah, I love the aesthetics. I love the soundtrack is great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
and
cool.
This is a game that I had a lot of fun with. Yeah.
Dead. They're all dead. All right. Let's move on to The Rise of the Golden Idol. I don't remember who
Yeah.
had this on their list, but I think a lot of us played it.
Yeah.
And
Gee, I wonder who would have put that on their list. Yeah, a couple of years ago, Case of the Golden Idol came out, and I at least, I think other people were really into that, and this is a sequel
I
to
enjoyed
that.
it a lot.
Shout out
and
to
it is
Return of the Obra Dinn again, because
Yep.
that's a style of puzzle game that is just in the world, and there's a lot of good ones of those. I think this is one of the best ones.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't finished. I've played through the main game and the first
Mm.
2 DLCs, or I haven't finished the last case of the second DLC, and haven't played the third DLC, but I believe Anthony has done all
I
of
lost my
that.
mind on that last DLC case. You got to hurry up.
I gotta get there.
Huh.
But
In a good way or a bad way?
In a good way.
I gotta finish Silk
I
Song. and
can't
I'll get
spoil
back
it.
to this.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a puzzle game in which you are shown various scenes, and you click around on the scenes and collect words,
Right.
which are
Information. Like
descriptions and names and all this kind of stuff, and then you have to piece together sort of what's happening in the scene. And there are various ways that you do that. Sometimes it's like, all right, here's all the names, here's what their like jobs are. There was one that's in a prison, and you're like, well, which guy was in which cell? And you have to sort of look at the pictures and then look at what they're saying and cross-reference those things, and then find something that was written and yada yada. And so there's a lot of different clever things that they're doing here to sort of work through sort of that same kind of idea of find all the things and then figure out an explanation of what is happening. And then there are meta puzzles that go along each sort of set to
Like set of cases. Yeah.
set
or-
of cases. Like
yeah.
these 4 things make up an overarching story.
you have to figure out how
And
the
so
cases
you'll
are.
do each of those 4. Yep, exactly. And they bounce around in time, and it turns out the whole thing makes a gigantic timeline if you actually are paying attention to what's going on between both games.
What?
And this like
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
and then this like before and after thing like this has where you click on the clocks here
Yeah.
is a thing that they added to this game,
gonna say, I
which
think
I
that's
thought was a
new,
really
right?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked. They did some really
They
good
did
stuff. with
They
those
did a
puzzles.
version of that in the last case of the Golden Isle DLC, but it's done better
Hmm.
here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's like, oh, so what Eric is clicking around on here, it's like, oh, there's this auction going on, and here's while the auction is happening, and that's the like top clock, and then you click on the bottom clock, and it's like, oh, now this and this has happened, right? This guy is being electrocuted, and
Bad.
they're the lights are out, and so that's changing what's going on down below.
Now it's
you're
dark and
using
it's hard to
information
figure
you
out
figured
who's
from
who.
before. Yeah, exactly. Who's doing what, and what are they talking about, or what did they drink?
Yep.
And all this kind of stuff. So
How much money did they spend on the
it's-
auction items?
Yeah.
I think this
Yeah.
game had a couple of really notable improvements aside from just the time jumping stuff. But I think this game does a much better job of communicating to you when you've found all of the like little bits of information, and it also just
Yep.
like the way it organizes the word bank and the way it sort of like organizes the puzzle stuff. That was a lot easier to follow than the game. I think it's generally like a straight improvement. I like the art in the first game is like really like fucked up and weird sprite art, and I like the way that they translated that to the 3D
Same.
models in this, and then like stretch and like mold them to make the faces like look even weirder and more
Squishy.
off-putting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I love that
And-
too, but I think it will also keep Villain from ever wanting to play this with me. Like I would enjoy.
Yeah,
being able to play
100%.
this.
It was kind of
Just-
ugly. Yeah.
Yeah, this
And
one
you
is just
won't
on
be
my
prepared. You go ahead.
4. Well, this is just on my someday pile. Like I know that I want to play it. I'm just kind of waiting for the mood to strike because I really enjoyed Golden Idol.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good
You'll be
I think
thing to
this
sit
playing
with
along, and then suddenly you'll be like, "I'm in the future. What are
Yeah.
these spaceships? What's happening?"
It's a good thing to sit down with like a cup of tea and play for.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. I just banged one out a night. It was, which is it was great. This was number 2 overall on my own list.
Yeah.
Like I
Nice.
I think this was the straight up
had
improvement,
played-
like you said.
I had
Yeah.
not played as much of it at the time I rated stuff, so I probably would have moved it up as well.
Yeah. All right. We got the three runners left to go. We got a Contra Operation Galuga.
Oh, my favorite game of today that I played.
We we played this some today. Look, man, it's Contra.
Okay.
I don't know what else you want me to
It's
say.
Joe and
It's
it's Contra.
Joe's
Like,
in the bag for the game. No matter
Joe's in
what.
the
I'm
Joe's
in
in
the
Yeah,
the
but that
bag
tank
could
for
go.
Contra.
That could cut both ways for Joe.
True.
It can.
It-
You're right.
Not
it
all
can.
Contra games are good.
But
Come on.
this
He's a discerning
this is a good
Contra,
Contra
fellow.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good Contra game. I like the new mechanics of the perk system that each character has, all the unlockable characters. It's 4 players, which is a little chaotic. Based on my experience with 3 players, one can only imagine how bad it would be with 4. There's a bunch of soundtrack options. Like if you have the Castlevania collection on Steam, then it just unlocks a Castlevania soundtrack for this game just by virtue of having it, which is kind of fun.
Nice.
But yeah, it's good.
The
It's
It's a
Galaga
run.
mashup
It is a
really
really
good.
good run and gun with a lot of ways to build your character and
yes.
like
Yes.
how
I
you
liked
want
earlier, I
to
liked.
for like weapon damage or survivability. Although they put Fang in the game and give him fucking sunglasses, so this game is
there a
trash.
Steam Workshop?
This game is
there a
trash.
Steam
Throw it in the
Workshop,
dump.
Absolute
mod to
garbage.
add sunglasses to Fang.
He's a cyborg fucking werewolf and got sunglasses. Those are the only 2 things that you need to know about Fang in this game.
He had one
Throws
job.
one of those away. Yep, it's completely. I played some co-op with Joe. I think.
Yeah, when you
when I was
came
at
for
it, when I visited
WrestleMania or
him.
whatever.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's
Yeah.
a good ass Contra. You run around and shoot a lot of guys. What else is there? There's
You run around
Yeah.
and shoot guys. That's
Um,
really it's and it uses on the higher difficulties it's like classic Contra, one shot, one death, but on the lower difficulties you have a life bar and it's a lot more. There's ways to similar to the Ghosts and Goblins game that came out a few years ago. Like they've made it a lot more friendly for new players, but if you like the way it used to be, you can still like change it so that it plays the way that these games used to play.
cool guns too. All right. Our second to final runner up is a game that I was the only one that played this. I don't think any of you guys have played it at all, right? This is
Nope.
called Sorry We're Closed. This is I think this is probably just behind Signalis as the most interesting like modern horror game that I've played. It is, I think a lot of people have described it as like gay or LGBT Silent Hill, which is like a good starting point. So it takes the whole game takes place on this like this small little block in I think it's supposed to be like London or just like generic British city or something. But the block seems like just like a bunch of kind of like cool weirdos that you're hanging out with, but it turns out that there's like a bunch of demons that live there, and you are like a normal person who is just like broken up with her girlfriend, and you're kind of depressed, and you are there's a demon that is trying to like understand love, but because it's a demon and it inherently can't understand love, it is like forcing people into bondage to try and make them love her, and like it ends up like destroying them like literally and figuratively. And your job is to like she sets her sights on you and shows up in your apartment one night, and then it kind of turns into this weird like Silent Hill thing where you're like going back and forth between the demon world and the real world. But the kind of unique mechanic that this has is that you are in control of which world you're in, because you're given like this, when she marks you, she gives you this third eye ability, and so you can, in a little cone around you, you can like change which of the worlds you're in. And so when you do that, you can like stun enemies, and then you can see like their weak points so you can shoot them. Or there's like a bunch of puzzle kind of things where you're like trying to like sometimes an object will be there in the real world but won't be there in the demon world, or sometimes you'll have to like try and manipulate like a mirror version of yourself by like swapping back and forth between worlds. I think they do a lot of cool things with that mechanic, but the thing that really stuck with me with this was just the like the little interpersonal relationships between all the characters on the block. There's like there's a guy that runs a diner and he's got a boyfriend and his boyfriend is super duper shitty. And so like by your choices in the game, you can either dispose of the boyfriend or kind of like train him to be a better person. There's like a lady that runs a club, but she's like secretly an angel that's trying to destroy all the demons. And so you can like either help her or like cut her off. Your best friend, who is that lady with the Ushanka hat that I talked to earlier, named Robin, she is a demon. She's like a transgender demon, and she's in love with like a weird angel that lives in a church and is like blocking more demons from coming into the world, so they can never actually be together because he's like trapped in like a it's like angelic bureaucratic purgatory sort of. And so there's like things you can do in the game to try and help Robin like get to be with their love or not. And I think this is a game that has a lot of really complicated thoughts about relationships and love and romance, and is also kind of spooky and has a really yet another one of those games with like a kind of grimy
PS1.
PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1 aesthetic.
Mhm.
This one, because of the bright neons and pastels, I think really like jumps out more than a lot of the other ones, which are just kind of like dingy and gross. But it's relatively short. It's pretty easy. But it's just it's one of those rare games where it's just like there's like nothing else quite like it, and I really enjoyed it for that aspect of it. And then our final runner-up is the mighty Pico Park 2, which everybody knows and has played because it's the most popular video game in the world, burning up Twitch.
I
Everyone
can't believe
knows
this didn't
and
make the top
loves.
10.
Pico Park
Believe
2
that is down to
a-
one person in this chat.
it is a cooperative puzzle platformer that requires
Is it
cooperative,
cooperative?
and if you have
Oh,
somebody that's willing to
competitive.
throw a monkey wrench into the works once in a while, it becomes a completely miserable way to hate your friends. And
What?
if you have people that you can sit in a
Clusterfuck the
room
video
and play video games with, this is a must buy. You have to have this and play it with a
Absolutely.
group of 4 or 5 friends. It's just an incredible experience
Yes.
of trying to understand
Absolutely.
what it is you're supposed to do, and then trying to fucking get all the squirrels
doing
to
it.
work together so that you can
Right.
execute on that plan. Great. The Pico Park 1 is also a really great. These are both super duper cheap, super duper simple little games, but
Yep.
I really can't recommend them.
We played through the whole thing,
We
right?
did. Yeah,
at
it's like
Extra
5
Life
hours
last
long
year?
or whatever. They're like
Yeah.
$5 and they're both like 4 or 5 hours.
Yep.
I think
I
2
think
is
it was 2
They're-
hours long. It just felt like it was 5 hours long.
If you weren't playing with Anthony, it might have felt like it
What are you
wasn't
talking
quite
about?
that long.
I don't know
Like
what you mean.
Anthony loves puzzles and he loves cooperation. That's the 2 things I know about
and-
Anthony.
And I'm good at
He
does one of
platforms.
those
Yeah.
things.
Games that are cooperative. I don't know that I would say he loves cooperation.
Okay, last year
confirm that
when we
he
all
does
played
not.
it together,
Yeah.
there was one puzzle where I'm trying to remember the gimmick. I think like you're not supposed to move when this and
You
the
can't
screen
move
kept
when
like
you can
going
see.
blank.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and it's just Eric's, but you don't know who's who or something. But Eric's character was moving ever so slightly, and I was the first person to notice that Eric was the one fucking it up. And I just started laughing so hard because I met his eyes from across the room, and and then I started being accused of moving, but I knew I knew who it was. I don't think like that is the most I laughed in
Right.
2024.
It's great. They're great.
It's great.
They will really
That's
teach you a lot
it.
about the
And-
people that you choose to spend your time with.
Your supposed friends.
Yes. All right.
I am really shocked that this was not high on everybody's list.
should have been.
I don't know what's
in
wrong
a,
with
in
you
a
guys.
just world, this would be.
Yeah.
But listen,
I mean,
people are graphics whores, Anthony. They just can't
Eric,
appreciate a simple
I-
aesthetic.
I
you
can
know.
tell.
the only
Uh-huh.
ones who put it on our list. So
All right. Let's move into the top 10. Let's see if we can get this this all wrapped up so we can move on to
I think
2025.
in the top
Finally,
8.
I'm
We're
ready.
not in the top 10.
I'm ready for 2025.
Oh, Alex,
to
I see
begin.
you've never done the stickies before.
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
we're only at like an hour and a half. I
been-
think we're doing pretty good. Actually.
We're at number one.
We
in our
are in an hour and a
hearts.
half. I
I will
know
note-
because I started playing 20 small mazes. I've now beaten it, and it says 88 minutes.
Wow, Alex finished a game in the
Good
time
job.
it took all the rest.
Honestly,
What was
I
it
probably
doing?
could have finished it faster, but all the
Alright.
ones I got stuck on, I was like, okay, I got to do this, or this, but it's not working, blah,
Alright.
blah. And then I was like, wait, think dumber. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then I like worked. Yeah, it's good.
All right,
It
well,
was
listen,
fun.
if
It
you
was
keep
fun.
interrupting
Point of
me as I
order.
try to introduce the number 8 game, because we had a 3-way tie
Point
for
of
number
order.
8, then this
Hold
is just
on.
going to take longer.
Jeez Louise.
But
We're at $565.
nice.
Smoke Monster contributed $50. Thanks, Smoke Monster.
Thank you.
Thanks,
All
bud.
right, moving on.
Okay. All right. Number 8. We have a
Move for
3-way
kids.
tie for number 8. So this is 8, 9, and 10 in some order. The first one that I have here is Pacific Drive, which I believe Kurt had pretty high on his.
Yep, I had it very
Or
high on
enjoyed
my
it.
list.
Yes.
Yeah, I had it as 3rd on my list. Yeah, I played the shit out of this game. I got it. I don't even remember what prompted me to get it, but it seemed interesting, so I picked it up and I just plowed through and went to completion. But the conceit of the game, it's a run-based sort of roguelike-ish thing. But the conceit of the game is you're a delivery person who gets sucked into an anomaly area
Like in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, in the Pacific Northwest. And so you get sucked into this area that has had something happen. Nobody's quite sure what. And
There's, like,
it has
weird-
been isolated.
There's like weird gloopy things like crossing between worlds and stuff is like floating.
Yep. And
that you
so
don't really know what's.
yeah,
Like
so it's first
Oblivion.
person
Premise.
and you
Wait, Oblivion?
you have
Annihilation.
this you have this
Sorry.
sort of old station wagon that is your vehicle that you use throughout the game, and you can upgrade it with parts and things, so you can change things about it. You can change to improve the durability of it, or keep it from conducting electricity or whatever. You can add gas tanks or expand them, or storage space or whatever. And generally what happens is you're trying to figure out how to get out of the area. You have there are no other people you will see throughout the game, but you will be talked to on the radio by a few people who
Live
are
in the
surprised
zone.
you and you showed up. Yeah, who live in the zone and were like, no one has come to the zone. No one has entered the zone for years. Like, what the heck is going on? And so you have your home base is this garage where you can work on your car and store your stuff that you're finding between runs. You have a friendly dumpster that will eject stuff for you at random. So you can interact with the dumpster and be like, here's 5 bandages.
Love to
Here.
interact with the dumpster.
Yeah, here's a a piece of metal you can use to fashion into a
So what is a run?
a fender. So that was what I was about to get to.
Okay.
So you look at a map that's on the wall of the whole zone, and it has a road system drawn on it that has various connections, and each zone you're driving essentially from zone to zone. You plan out a route to go somewhere within that. You're trying to get to certain things through the zone, and the deeper you go in the zone, the more into the whole area, the more dangerous things gets, and the more weird things get. So the further you get, the more strange anomalies you get, and you'll have like this whole zone is just saturated with radiation, and so any time you get out of your car, you're taking damage. Or most of it's underwater or flooded with water, and so you have to be very careful about what you're doing. But you're essentially planning your route, going, I'm going to go from this. I'm going to go through this junction, and this junction. That'll be my route, and you drive along. You'll go into the zone, you'll explore the zone, and there's things that you can find in the zone.
There's like abandoned
to
garages and
scavenge.
things that might have
Yeah,
parts
there's
for your car,
cars.
right? And so you're like, it's a
Yeah,
little like
or other
crafting
material.
survival kind of a thing where you're like trying
Exactly.
to, you're constantly trying to manage your like time spent in a dangerous place versus time spent trying to like find upgrades that'll make it easy. That's kind of the
And
push pull.
so the thing, exactly. And along the way, there are these things called anchors that you find that are essentially keeping the particular areas stable. But the problem is you need to collect a certain amount of the energy that these anchors are providing to actually exit the whole run and get back to the base, the garage. So as you pull these anchors out, you're essentially destabilizing the zone. And when you do enough of that and you have built up enough energy, then you can essentially trigger an exit scenario, and that will open essentially the portal to leave the zone and go back to the garage. But the problem with that is the more energy you need to actually do that, the further away from where that exit opens that you have to be before you can trigger it. And when you trigger it, all hell breaks loose, and like a giant destabilizing storm starts on the outside of the map and just starts closing in on you. And so essentially, as soon as you fire that off, you have to drive like hell to get to the exit in time before your car is destroyed. Which
So you're
means
kind
you
of gambling
lose
like how
everything.
much stuff you,
Yeah,
how much stuff can you
which
grab
means
and
you
then
lose
still make
everything
the
that
exit.
you've picked up. Yeah. And so you have to sort of scout it out enough to go like, all right, I want to go this direction. I can drive along this path or whatever. And as you're doing that, like all the various anomalies, so that I guess I didn't really talk specifically about that. As you're driving along the zone, there's various different kinds of anomalies that you'll see. And so like there's one that if you drive through it, it will just slew your car to the side. Without regard to what you're doing. You'll just like slide sideways, which can throw you off a cliff. Or you can drive over some that will like giant sort of pillars will come out of the ground. Or there's these things called tourists, which are like sort of they look like people, but they're essentially they're like out of stone, and they work like weeping angels. If you're watching them, they don't do anything, but if you turn your back on them, they'll attack you.
Ooh.
They can become electrified, and often when you pull an anchor when you're deeper in the zone, like suddenly all these electrified tourists will show up around you and start electrocuting you, and you got to all ask to try and get back to your car.
The game about social anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just this sort of, iterate on that, plan out a route. I will say you can, when you're planning out your routes, some of the zones are dead ends. And so if you do the wrong thing, you can end up driving into an area you can't get out of. So you have to pay attention to that stuff. But you can be like, all right, I want to go here, I want to go there, I need some of this stuff. Oh, this looks more unstable, but it has some of the things I want, so I'm going to go for it. And then sort of work your way across the map, finding all the various things, trying to stay safe, and then get out and do it again.
I also played a bunch of this. It reminded me a lot of another like crafting survival game where there's like kind of like bespoke areas that kind of like good one.
And there's various tools you can get, like crowbars or pneumatic drills and all this kind of stuff. And so you're like, oh, I can make essentially spackle. And so if my car is getting womped on, when I'm 2/3 of the way through the run, I can like try and fix some of it enough to keep going so it doesn't break down. Oh, I can bring an extra tire, but then I can't carry as much stuff. and all that sort of stuff. And so at the end of the game, I had sort of this, you know, completely decked out car in which, you know, the back seat was an extra gas tank, and I had a roof rack that had a system on it
Gun
that I
on
could
it.
emit like an EMP pulse, so that
Oh,
when
nice.
certain of the anomalies would like try and grab onto me, I could repel them. It was
That's
really
cool.
good. I just thought it had a really cool aesthetic and I actually think the menu system and all that and all the UI and all that stuff is really well done. Just really fun. I was amazed at just how much it really spoke to me and, you know, compelled me to keep playing it. So anyway, Pacific Drive.
Cool. I would like to play more of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bought it at the same time I bought one of the other games. It's on this list. That one. Anyway, number 8 game it is the game that is all games and no games. It is the concept of the Archipelago randomizer.
You know me, I got no respect whatsoever for the
fucking
concept
sicko,
of release
Mike.
dates or what a game is. But at the same time, I totally think this belongs on the list because Archipelago, as like a, I guess, protocol, has been under like super rapid development. And, you know, by the time we picked up on it last year, it had gotten to a point where there was all kinds of cool shit that you could do with this thing, and like new games being added like every week. And yeah, man, I love taking old cool games and messing them up in lots of ways. This is a fact about me that you know. And this is definitely the most thorough, far-reaching way of doing that I've found so far. And it's even better now because people, you know, will take mods of games and then stick them into Archipelago. So now you can do Super Metroid Map
Enterprise.
Randomizer. Free Enterprise,
Oh.
Super Metroid Map Randomizer, which is an incredible ROM hack that literally rebuilds the map of Super Metroid and yet somehow makes it make sense. And then you can put that into an Archipelago. And like, man, I love this shit. I love that there are people out there dedicating their lives to finding new ways to make old games fresh, finding ways to make my literal Super Nintendo go talk over the internet to, you know, your copy of.
I did that once and it ripped the USB port out of my fucking FX pack.
Well, that wasn't Archipelago's fault, but
I don't know about that, Mike. Who else's fault would it be?
It's impossible
the
to say.
manufacturer and or manipulator of the pack.
Oh
I
wow,
guess.
whoa, Mike.
I feel like it's got to be one of those two.
This is a
Unless
real
the
golden case of the golden idol type situation. We'll have to examine all the evidence and then fill out the form that says who might have destroyed Joe's piece of equipment.
Unless the sheer power of retro coolness coursing through your USB cable is what caused it to happen.
Yeah.
Possibly. But
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't put this on my list because I'm like a traditionalist and I couldn't bring myself to put a thing that isn't actually a game on the, but Mike is correct. This is fucking awesome. He and I have become total sickos for this. We played a 32 game one a couple months ago.
That was too many games.
No, it wasn't. It was
It'd take you guys
maybe
like
it wasn't
2
enough
months to finish
games,
it.
Mike. It took us 2
Yeah,
months
yeah,
to finish
about
it.
that.
Yes. Yep. I don't know. It's like I'm really, and now it's the point where Mike and I like text each other during the day while we're at work about like, oh, did you see that like someone's working on this or like someone's got this going to Archipelago? What do you?
What was
we're
I
diseased.
don't know how it's pronounced, but somebody made a ROM hack of Donkey Kong Country where the entire game is just mirrored, and that's been put into Archipelago.
Yes, yes,
The game is called Donkey Kong Country, but whatever that is mirrored. So each Nurken.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's amazing.
It's cool. I think it's really cool that they found a way to take some of this stuff and make it like a tool set that's not that difficult to set up for like a normal person who doesn't like know how to program. Like that's kind of the cool that like anybody that's like competent with like moving stuff around in a Windows folder basically can set one of these up without too much trouble.
I wish it was a little easier.
It depends. I mean, there's a list. There's a list of games on the Archipelago website, and those are mostly easy to get going.
Say all the ones that are quote unquote officially
Yeah.
supported, those ones I feel are pretty easy.
Right.
Once you start going off the like what's on the main website and that, then it can be a little finicky. But a lot of them, especially the modern games, like it's just like there's a mod,
Mhm.
install the mod, and then type in the information in the mod. Like that's what Risk of Rain is literally. It's literally like, sorry, I guess you have to have some like comfort with mods because like Risk of Rain, you have to have like Beppin X and like all the other like the general mod tools, which I already had installed
You're not
for
hex
Risk of Rain
editing
2.
things.
No,
No.
you don't have to hex edit or anything like that. You have to have a
And for
base
the
comfort
people
level with modding software.
And for the people who put the worlds together, it seems like if you know a bit about this stuff, you can get something off the ground really fast. Sometimes a game will go from someone's idea to, oh, you can kind of play this, to actually you can really play this in the space of like a month.
Cool.
Stuff like really modern games have been added to. It's cool. It's the best.
Yeah, it's really great.
So-
So much fun.
If you would like to know
Cool.
more about Archipelago, you can find like 20 hours of Joe and Mike and the rest of us streaming this on our archive.
Well, Mike and I are going to do something in December where we're going to actually use the Deathlink. We're only going to play at the same time, and we're going to use the Deathlink stuff and all that. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, it's neat. All right, the next game is 1000X Resist, which I'm gonna kick that down the road a little bit, and we'll talk about that some more maybe, so we can actually talk about. This is a story-based game, and either you just say like it's a story-based game with a really cool story that ties into the real world, like with a lot of the Taiwanese protests, and touches on a lot of like pretty heady subject matter. But it's hard to say much more about it than that without getting into spoiler stuff. So
I agree, Eric. It belongs at number 1.
yeah, we'll make it honorary number 1 and kick it down the road
Perfect.
unless anybody has anything they really feel like they need to say right now.
It's great.
Great. It is great.
Hecky Grace.
I think I was the only one that had this on my list. I had it at number, but it was
Yeah, I played it in like September
Yeah.
of this year.
yeah. I honestly went back and forth a lot whether or not this should have been at anyway, we'll get more into it later. All right, we're gonna move up to, we had another 3-way tie here at number 5. So this is 5, 6, and 7 in some order. I have randomly picked Satisfactory to be the first number 5 that we
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about, which Mike is
Oh,
going full
man.
sicko mode. Tell us about
This is my
Satisfactory.
yes, this is one of my, so we were talking at the start of this, like, sometimes in a year you don't get a lot of great games, but you get just a couple that are like really hit for you. This game fucking, oh my god, it's so good. It's so good and also kind of terrible at the same time. But yeah, it's a game that I dabbled with before, but it hit 1.0 release this year, and so they finally finished the kind of story campaign mode that you can put in it. Obviously, it's also the kind of game where people who are much sicker than I will spend thousands of hours just trying to build incredible stuff that looks really good or is hyper efficient. Like you can kind of twist the game whatever way you want. But for a person like me, if just having a nice set of goals to follow through is kind of a fun way to play this game. And it's an undertaking. Like the game is broken up into like 5 different technology tiers, kind of. And as you're starting off, it's like, oh yeah, this is manageable. And you hit like tier 2, and you're like, oh okay, like I see what you're doing. You get to 3, and it's like this is getting a little complicated. Then you hit the 4th one, and it's like, oh my god, are you serious? There's so many different things to keep track of, but it's really neat. The world is incredible. I think the game looks really really good. It's it has this building system where everything you put down just looks really like it belongs in the environment, even though it clearly does not belong in the environment. But like, I don't know how they made the 3D models all fit so well together and in the world. And like, generally speaking, there's not like a lot of weird janky clipping or anything like that. You can have thousands of machines running like in your field of vision, and everything just plays super smoothly. Technologically speaking, it's an incredible game. If you enjoy tweaking weird ratios of stuff. It's a really cool game. If you want to explore a cool world, like I've said this to Anthony before, this game gives me Subnautica vibes. It's just that you're here for the opposite reason than you are in that game. Like no one is preserving anything for shit. This ecosystem's going down. But exploring the world, it gives you the same kind of feeling of like there's weird, mysterious stuff. The map is enormous.
Got this tall
It is
guy.
a fixed map.
But is there
Yeah,
a
man,
narrative the
that's
same
something
way?
tall guy. There is not to the same extent. There's a lot less
What
narrative
is
in
that
this
thing? I
game.
love that thing. Wake up.
Yeah.
That's
Now
amazing.
Wait,
imagine
recorded
building a
video.
bunch of
Go back. Go back.
I know. Yeah, I know.
now imagine building a bunch of miners next to that thing and extracting all of the ore that it has nearby.
I was gonna say this reminds me of Subnautica in that it's just you're walking around picking up a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff, and you said
don't-
that like
don't
the
play
tech
this,
trees
Alex.
get. Oh, I'm well aware. But it's like you're running around picking up resources, and then you're building stuff, and I would hate it. So like, yeah, that's Subnautica. Like it's striking all the same. Like, oh god, I want to turn like. I have anxiety about this like vibe.
Oh, this game would give you so much more anxiety. Than
Oh,
Subnautica.
I'm aware. That's why I can't.
God,
yeah.
in this game, my literal
Tutorial
nightmare.
game, baby, and Butt World 2.
I know.
So
It's a literal
Okay,
nightmare in this
sorry.
game if your power grid goes down and you have to try and restart it.
Yeah.
as
Oh,
Mike said at the
Honest
top,
to God.
there are sickos. One of those sickos used to work for me, and he and I started talking about Satisfactory after the update happened, most recent big update, and then he revealed to me that he had built. There's a tool that we would use at work called Grafana, which is for displaying metrics about applications that we're running, how well they're running, and all that stuff. And they had built a Grafana dashboard and been pulling metrics out of their machines into this, like real-time dashboard that was showing, all right, well, I've got some buildup over here in this part of my pipeline, so I got to fix this, whatever. And they could do alerting and all this kind of stuff. I'm just like, okay, that's a little far. Even I'm thinking that's a little much. So
I put 100 hours into
But
this
think
game.
of how
in this
efficient it's gonna
version,
be.
and I'm nowhere near a sicko in satisfactory terms. 100 hours after already spending 30 or so on the early access version of the game. Yeah, it's incredible. It will drive you insane. It's neat and it looks cool. And I
It
liked
does look good. Anytime I've seen, because I saw you stream it that one time, and then there's this video right now. I'm like, this game looks great. If I was running around like
does.
shooting guys in it, I would be fucking happy as a clam.
You can
But-
shoot guys with the worst collection of firearms ever devised.
make-
Yeah, but
by
this game,
anyone.
Yeah, but
you're not supposed to. You're supposed to run around and gather stuff, and then do math
you
homework
don't really
and figure out how the
once
power
you
plant
get past a
works.
certain point, you're not really gathering stuff. What you're doing is like routing like cable cars and conveyor belts and trying to make sure that you're like your supply
your-
lines are as clean and efficient as possible, so that way you can extract the most stuff to make the most stuff to
I
make
think
more
that's
stuff.
worse to me.
I know,
would
but
rather
that's
just
just
run around
what the
and-
game.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
that's literally
yeah,
what
yeah.
the game is. I definitely,
yeah,
I've
yeah, yeah,
I've dipped
for
my
sure.
toes into a bunch of these, and I can never get past the basic conceit of like we're gonna destroy the world to make a bunch of widgets. That is too real for me. And but I think if I was ever gonna really, really go deep on one, it would probably be this one. I appreciate what's going on. I thought I had a save that had some more stuff to it, but I couldn't find it. And then it had been a long time since I played it, so I couldn't remember what the hell I was doing. So I was just running around. It's
I
a
just wanna
really,
finish
really
with one
cool game.
There's one mechanical thing about this game which is incredible, and it's kind of an exploit. It's kind of a thing you're not really supposed to do, but it's so much fun and it makes playing the game just way better. In this game, you can build human-sized hamster tube, like vacuum tubes to move around. And every time you enter one, it kind of sucks you in and propels you forward. And what you can do is you can actually build just a bunch of the entrances to those tubes in a row, and each one will accelerate you a little more. And then you can build one that points up and shoots you out at an angle, and you can just propel your character at like 500 miles an hour through the air, and then you have a jetpack that you can use to just kind of like feather it, and like you can cross the whole map in the space of about 30 seconds, and it is
mean,
exhilarating.
I don't think that you said that sounded like a cheat or something. I forget what your exact wording was. That sounds intentional. I think you solved
They didn't take it
puzzle.
out.
Yeah.
And it's so fun, and it literally does make the game like just more fun to play. Like it is one of the most fun things I did in any video game last year, was just stick myself into this can and go and then fly through the air like 1,000 miles an hour.
Nice.
So that's what you're missing. It's a great game. True sickos only need apply.
Blech.
All right. Let's see. Another number 5 is Astrobot.
Astrobot.
Which is
Astrobot, it
a
stops
it
there.
is a
That's the title.
very very fine platformer. I would say sometimes it reaches the heights of the very best of the best of 3D platformers, and other times it makes you do some waggle bullshit with the controller that made me angry, which is why I eventually ended up leaving it off my list, despite me thinking at sometimes that I liked it almost as much like Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
I also think
I put it at number 2 despite those things.
yeah. Because sometimes it is like it is just like a genuinely joyful, like happy experience, just like run through these worlds, like bopping little robot dudes on the head and listening to the happy like pop, like happy electronic pop music that sounds like it's been made by robots. And also like all of the other Astrobot this goes deep on Sony PlayStation stuff. And in this game, it's in the form of all these weird little costumed robots that you can find that are all references to like the past and present of Sony PlayStation games. And it goes like really crazy deep on that stuff. Like you can see I'm dressed as Parappa the Rapper, which is like a fairly well-known PlayStation game. And then there's like stages that are built around popular PlayStation game, like current franchises like God of War and
Zero
and
Dawn.
Horizon and stuff like that, which those aren't the best, but then there's a bunch of them that are like, it's the dog from Tokyo Jungle, which is like a weird indie game that
Yep.
hardly anybody played that was on the PlayStation 3.
Or
in
you
like
can
20
be the
Is
you
there?
can
Can
be
you
the
be
robot
the?
rabbit from
Vib Ribbon.
Jumping Flash.
Oh yeah,
Jumping
Vibri's
Flash.
there,
I was-
Jumping Flash is there. Yeah, it's like all the almost.
Yeah,
It was like to the point like the guy from fucking Wild Arms is one of the characters that you can find. Yeah, it's
See-
really like almost like everything that you can imagine from the early
They
days
go
of
deep.
PlayStation.
There's
I
The
was-
Suikoden
I was
guy
gonna
is
make-
there.
I was gonna make a joke about Vib Ribbon, but then you said Vibri is in this.
Yeah.
so
And
I
now it's
guess
there. Yeah.
Joke's on me.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
I
Did
have heard
anyone
the
on this
complaint that
stream
it's kind
not
of
play
sad that they
Tokyo- Sorry, did anyone on this stream not play Tokyo Jungle?
I didn't
I
really
didn't.
play Tokyo
I
Jungle.
didn't play it.
I didn't play it to
Really?
completion, but
Interesting.
I did play some of it.
Yeah, same. But
That was the PS3 game where you're like an animal
And
walking
post-
around,
post-apocalyptic
like abandoned.
Tokyo.
Yeah, post-apocalyptic. Yeah, I remember that, but I
Yeah.
didn't play it.
okay.
But I have heard the complaint
Sorry.
that the game relies so much on like this kind of nostalgia for all these cool old characters, when all Sony seems to do now is just remake the same 3 games over and over again.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason
Love that.
also why I
And I
left
will-
it off my list, was just because of like this kind of I have this like increasing resistance to nostalgia just based on principle, even though it's not always bad. But it's just like we live in an era where like we're sacrificing our future to nostalgia in a way that I don't like, and so anything that is meant to make me feel that way, I'll like has the opposite effect on me. But like I said,
But
the game
but the
itself is
nostalgia
just a
that's here,
really
that's-
fantastic
Yeah.
like
yeah,
little
the game
platformer.
is not about the nostalgia. It's just the things that you can pick up are nostalgic. Like
Right.
they gave you, instead of having, 150 jigsaw puzzle pieces that all look exactly the same, they like did a ridiculous amount of work to model
And-
like
and-
little robot versions of all these things
Yeah,
for no reason other than, hey, here you go, you can have this now.
right.
Each of the worlds, or each of the sort of galaxies, is divided up into a whole bunch of different levels, and you work your way through it. And when you get to the end of those, like the last level of that is a essentially does a complete aesthetic switch into a specific like old PlayStation game.
Total conversion,
that
if you will.
and they move
Hmm.
and they completely commit to that bit. So like the first one you get to is basically you're now playing Ape Escape,
Right.
and so your little dude now has the net
And that
and is chasing like robot apes around in the same way that you would and catching them in the net and all that stuff. And then there's one for the newer God of War, and the little dude has like an axe he throws, and he's got the like lightning bolt across his face and all this kind of shit. It's amazing how far they go with that stuff.
Does he
and-
say
and
boy?
each of those does completely sort of change up how you play it to match up with that. It's
Of,
really
of
really
all
good.
the Sony franchises that I want them to port to PC, I want this 10 times more than any other one.
This is
I-
this is the one
It
least
makes me
likely
so
to
sad
make
I
the
can't
trip.
play
What is the
this.
principal?
I
What's it
know.
most?
They can't put a knack reference on PC or the world would explode. All right.
Right.
But yeah.
So I think my favorite thing about this game is that it's the third game in the series, and it's just called Astro. It's got the plainest
Because
name.
the
It's
first
just
one,
Astro.
yeah, because the first one was like a tech demo thing for PlayStation
First
4.
one was a VR.
And then the
First one was a VR Astrobot Playroom
yeah.
or Astrobot Rescue Mission, and then the second one was Astro's Playroom, which was the tech demo.
For PS5.
And then
right.
this, yeah.
This is the first one that has been like
An
a
Astro Bot Rescue
full
Mission.
ass video.
Is that
Astrobot
near?
Rescue Mission is really good too.
Yeah, I don't. It's that's what it is. You look at here. I am running around. Look, there's like the guy from
There's
whatever.
Aloy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Cool Borders guy.
I do
That's
want to
good.
play this. It almost never goes on sale for very cheap.
It's worth it.
They're
It's
kinda
really
Nintendoing this one.
it's a really good platform.
And there's a lot there.
Yes,
there's
it
a
is.
lot.
There's
of
almost
a lot of
more
things
than
to
I
do.
wanted at a certain point.
Yeah, almost.
Oh, that's
so it's
the
Lammy.
Wanderer.
Jammer Lammy.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, Lammy.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, look, we
Come on.
do the
Come on,
thing. Get
Sony.
get that
Action.
dopamine of the thing from your past that you remember. Look,
Yeah.
it's Okami. Look,
Come on, Sony. I'll pay full price.
watch
Put
what
it on
happens when you
PC.
punch Okami. It's really
Come on,
great.
Sony.
Really great.
Okay.
It is really cute, and also like they really did do the work right to like get the licenses to
Yeah,
all these
yeah.
things from all these because there's stuff from like Capcom and Konami and the Katamari Damacy guy is in here, right? So it's like
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's
I
a
saw the
there's
prints.
a a Metal Gear reference, and
Castlevania
there's,
Symphony of the Night
you know
stuff.
a bot.
Is there
And-
Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah,
Yes.
There's gotta be,
Eco-
right?
Eco's
Yes.
eating the watermelon, of
Yeah.
course.
Yep.
Mhm.
it's
So there's
it's
Ken.
cool.
There's
And
Street
so
Fighter.
then-
Yep.
There he is.
There's Dante
Oh,
shooting a
Street
clown.
Fighter himself.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Our final number 5, either the best or the
Good.
worst of the 5s, depending on the order that you approach them in, is the game that I played instead of Pacific Drive, and that is Mini Shoot Adventures. Which this is. Hey, do you guys know Zelda?
Heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard
Okay.
of
Play
it.
with
Have you heard of
Heard of it.
Geometry Wars?
Yeah,
Yep.
I've heard of Geometry
Okay, so
Wars.
what if
I haven't
what
heard
if
of
those two things?
what if
together.
Zelda was a twin stick shooter? And that's this game. There really isn't a whole lot to say about it. It has a very simple aesthetic, a very simple story, but it's literally just like a little twin stick shooter where you fly your little spaceship around an overworld and fight guys and get powers and level up to make your ship better, and then you go into dungeons, fight bosses, and solve puzzles. But it's a twin.
Yep.
And it's just like it's a really clever idea, and they executed on it just about as well as I could imagine anyone doing that. And it's like
Yep.
8 or 9 hours long, and the twin stick shooter stuff isn't that hard. And I don't really have a lot else to say about it, but I also like kind of couldn't put it down when I got into it. Like,
Yep, same.
so
It controls really well.
Yeah.
It's really.
I
clever.
played the demo, but I never played the full game. But I did like what I played of.
great.
The
I
demo.
played it almost all of it on my
Sure.
Steam Deck. Also, it's a great Steam Deck game. But I don't know. There isn't, like
Yeah,
I said, there's
that
just
makes
I
sense.
just don't have a lot of deep thoughts about it. It's such a simple concept, but it's just they came up with a great idea for a game,
Executed
and then they
incredibly well.
fucking nailed it. That's all there is
Yep.
to say about it.
Yep.
All right. So number 4 on our list is Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Crown, which I have not
Hey, that's me.
played. I think Kurt, had
That's
it.
my number one.
I
Okay.
put that on my
That's
list
the
too.
Metroidvania one, right?
It's good.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
I
Yeah,
did
it
see
is,
it. Yep,
yeah.
Mike.
It's good except for the part you're showing.
I forget who sent
Can't
me
see
this
it.
That
footage
was-
last year. Must be maybe
Oh, I think it's
Mike.
me.
Okay.
That is.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Now that I can see it, yes, this is the worst part of this game.
I told you.
100%. This is the worst fucking part of this game. Fuck.
I was
this
wondering
part
why I
of this
remembered this so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
game.
And you know what you get as a
so
reward?
Is it
for
some
this part?
pants?
It's a
bullshit
pair of
that
pants.
you do not want.
It's like a pair of brown pants.
Oh,
It's
nice.
Yep.
It's stupid.
I don't.
Yeah.
Brown pants are practical, and
yeah,
they kind of go
so-
with anything. So
It's
Mhm.
yeah. So this is a Metroidvania, within the Prince of Persia world. It's really really well done. The movement abilities are good. The combat is good. It's got a lot of interesting sort of combo things you can do. It's got an interesting sort of map to explore, and as previously noted, one thing that's really good in a Metroidvania is being able to note things on your
Mhm.
map, and
Oh,
this
man.
game lets you take screenshots and apply them to the map, and so you can be like, ooh, I need a double jump to get here, let me take a picture of that and stick it on there, and then you'll
And
see
it's just one
later,
button. Badoop. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
boom, there's a picture, and you can be like, all right, great, and then you're like, why did I want to go? Oh, right, I want to jump up there, cool, and you just do it. It's amazing.
that's all of these games should have
love
that
that.
feature. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Correct.
Yeah,
It's the thing that I've been saying for like literal decades at this point. Like,
Yeah, you don't
please
even
let
need
me
to write, it's
annotate
just
my
like,
maps, please.
take a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even like, oh, I'll use these markers like in Hollow Knight and Silksong, and you go, I need to remember what this means. Oh, I got a picture of this screen. I know exactly why I had that. Good to
Is
go.
Hollow Knight the
Let's
one?
do it.
I don't have the map. I don't have the like placeable map pins in Silksong yet. Is Hollow Knight the one where you got colored ones? Because I remember there's some game where I would use like
Yes.
one color was I need the double
Yes.
jump. One color is I need the
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
If you played more Silksong, Joe, you'd know the answer to that question.
Yeah. Well, I
There's
prioritize
more-
buying actual maps and getting the Bell Beast stops
Uh-huh.
and the
We're not talking about that
shops.
game. Maybe who knows?
know,
Who knows?
first.
It
Okay.
might be in
We
our
might
top 10
talk about that next
We
year,
might
maybe.
talk about
Who
that
knows?
next year. Maybe it's
Hard to
possible.
say.
There's no way to say.
Anyway,
Look
we're
at
still
that
talking about
full
Prince of
elevator.
Yeah.
Persia.
It'll
Yeah, this
hopefully
game
be
got
done
some
by
very
then.
extremely
Go
good platforming, and I do appreciate how much they make you use it on a regular basis.
Mhm.
Prince got a lot of moves, and there's a bunch of sections where you got to use everything at your disposal just to get through the world, which I
Yeah.
appreciate, because most of these games will kind of sequester that stuff off as like an optional challenge, and so yeah, they make you work for it.
But there are also optional challenges aside from the one we were just looking at that I said is garbage. There are optionals that are even harder. So there's a level of skill you need to just navigate, and then there are also other areas where it's like, oh, if you
Like
can
those
do
bells?
this thing, you can get a nice upgrade. Yeah, those bells.
Yep. Yep.
And
But,
after
yeah.
release, they upgraded the game. They updated the game to include a new set of challenges that are basically Kaizo levels. Like they're real hard. I only finished
Yeah.
a couple of them.
Oh wow.
They seem very good. You got
Same.
amulets.
And just
you
like
know,
Kaizo
you
levels,
can-
you start over in 5 seconds,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like you die
Well,
in 5
yes.
seconds and then No,
yeah,
but
it's
that's what I mean.
taken-
Like they literally are those.
Also, the map is enormous. It is.
Yep.
Obviously, we're maybe recalibrated a little bit with this year, but I would say maybe even comparable to the future game that we aren't talking about
Okay.
in terms of sheer size.
This is high on my
Um,
list of things to play. I totally whiffed on it last year.
Same.
I
I've kind of
wouldn't.
been
I
waiting
actually
for a
was-
sale.
I played the.
too,
I was
and it
really
hasn't been cheap.
dubious about it, and then they put out a demo, and I played it, and I was like, "Holy shit, I'm getting this game."
We are living in the
It's just
golden
getting
age of
really
demos, aren't we? Everybody's putting
Mhm.
demos
We are.
out for
Yeah, we are.
everything, and I think it's great. It's exposing
Yeah.
me to a lot of stuff.
And they're
that I would not-
convincing people to buy them.
Yeah.
They work.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
they
that's
do work.
totally
They
work on
work.
So I mean, it's hard
so-
to it's like there's so many on Steam that it's hard to say what the actual hit rate is versus takes to put one out.
Come on.
Yeah.
So who made this game? Because was this
They have
internal
been
Ubisoft, or
disbanded because
was
this game didn't sell
Yeah.
enough, so don't worry about it.
Right. Oh, of
Right.
course.
Even
great.
though apparently it actually sold pretty well, it just didn't sell enough, which is
And also,
a real
wasn't this
fucking
one of
shame.
Yeah.
two Prince of Persia games that came out in 2024?
Yeah, the other one was by the
Rogue
Dead Cells
Prince of
people,
Persia.
and
Prince of
didn't seem very
Persia,
interesting, honestly.
Roguelite.
I thought
The,
that
There's
came
like
out
a
during
Rogue
Government.
Prince of
It
Persia.
was
it didn't-
literally
yeah.
called Rogue Prince of Persia, I think. Yeah.
That came out
The
this
Rogue
year,
Prince
It's a
of
didn't
bit
it?
too much.
But yeah, it came out this year, not last year. It was supposed to come
Oh,
out
okay.
last year.
Oh, okay.
I
And when
thought
that guy hits you,
maybe
you
it was
fly
like
away
an
like
early.
a...
Never mind.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. All right. Any other
Anyway.
thoughts on that?
good stuff.
That game
It
looks
has a bit more combat than I want, but
Yeah.
you can avoid a lot of enemies.
I was gonna say the combat is pretty good actually, like not Silk Song level of like
what's
the
a Silk Song?
combined
It-
the combination of the two.
It has a
But,
pretty
like-
deep actually combo system, and it's really well thought out. You don't have to interact with you don't have to engage with all of it,
Right.
but you can, and that feels really satisfying.
It feels good.
but
There's a lot of good.
I do
yeah.
agree with Mike that there's a little bit more than I really want to, but that's partially just because I think all the movement and platforming stuff is so good that I just want to do more of that.
There were definitely like Mike and I were playing roughly around the same time or sequentially, I can't remember, but there were a few times where we texted each other back and forth. We're like, man, these people really liked Hollow Knight. Like
Oh,
there's
yeah,
a few parts
they
that are like very clearly ripped from it,
Yeah,
but that's a good thing because they were good things.
they did a
Would you
good
like
job
a
with
singing-
ripping it
Yeah.
off too.
Would you like a singing map
Right.
vendor?
Oh, really?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, really.
If you're gonna borrow from the best. You know.
And they did. They took
Right,
all the right
exactly.
stuff. They made a great game.
Yeah.
All right. Our number 3 game of the year. Shout out to Mike for UFO 50, which is it is a game, but it is also 50 games.
It's 50 games.
It's-
Um,
It's a great game.
The stick
or 50 of them.
is the sticky stick is now center screen for some reason.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Don't worry
Is
about
that
it.
because this is a finalist? Is that
I liked it.
Yeah,
man?
the trophy gets bigger as the awards go on.
It's just funny. It was like
Yeah.
UFO 50. It's like anyway.
Put the
See how
CRT
less
this
of
sticker
the
on it,
game,
do
the
that.
better it did.
Oh man, Mike,
this
it's
game
really
made me
good.
really
UFO
happy.
50. Yeah.
Yeah, it's this game took me back to like 3 distinct periods in my life. Like it took me
Yes.
back to the dawn of like PC indie games and to a certain extent kind of pre-Xbox era when they were weirder and jankier, and Derek, you had also made a lot of them. It took me back to like the kind of early 90s, like getting my hands on like a 101 NES multi-cart from China with like a bunch of weird ninja games I'd never seen before. And it took me back to like the mid 80s, getting a box of discs for like a PC and just loading stuff up and being like, what is this? Like, maybe this game's good. I don't know. And like, how does it work? I guess I'm just going to push buttons until something happens. And I just think it so perfectly encapsulates that sense of discovery. And I think what's special about it is that there's 50 games in this collection, and you assume that they're going to be kind of throwaway. But I think enough attention and love was put into each of them to make almost every one of them kind of worth playing. In a way that, like, if you spend some time with it, there like depth will be revealed, and you'll find that like thought has been put into all of these games. And so, sometimes they're rough, sometimes they're like forward thinking in a way that a game from the 80s wouldn't actually be. But they're almost all like fun, interesting, charming, often very frustrating, but generally meant to be. And here we have Nightmare, which is one of the coolest horror games from the last couple of years. And it's just one of 50 games.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
actually I streamed this whole Night Manor specifically. I streamed the whole thing for Halloween last year, so there's a stream of the whole game. But it's like, so it's. I mean, I agree with Mike, but I think the thing that most strongly hit in me was when I was in college, end of high school, early college, when I would just download NES games I didn't know what they were and play them on emulators. Like sort of it made me feel like that more than in the 80s and actually playing NES games, even though this is very clearly like that's what it's going for, the 8-bit microcomputers and the NES stuff. But it covers basically every genre. Although I have to say, like, I actually still haven't played all 50 games. So
Oh, I have never played a couple of them.
Mhm.
Never at all, or just
Uh,
not played to
I-
completion?
Never at all. There's games in this collection I still have not.
I have
played all.
definitely played them all. If you guys have not played them all, I would say that there are at least some that are quite bad. They're not our mortal, you know.
I was gonna say,
Mortal
but
is
more
real
the one
good,
we're
though.
playing right now is super good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mortal is one of my favorites in the collection. There are games
Mike
in
and
this
I played a
collection that
bunch
I've
of this
spent
last
like
year.
15 hours on one individual game in this collection, like the dinosaur strategy game. Man, I perfected every level in that game, and it was hard and it was cool. Like it was really fun.
That's like a tower defense one, right? That one?
Yeah, Rock on Island.
Yeah.
I
Are you
need
doing
to
this live?
I bounced
this-
off of that. I bounced off of that really hard, really fast. Honestly, I feel like I
Are you
just
a-
wasn't getting it. It was very hard. Like I just kept losing, and I was like, I don't understand.
It is a difficult game.
I'm clearly missing something, but I don't really know what it is that I'm missing. But I should come back to this.
Anyway,
one.
another, I mean, you know, honestly, one of the things that was the most fun for me at this game too was that my son really got into it, and he would just like take the controller and he just poke around and try different games out. And some of the ones that he really wound up sticking with were not the ones I would have guessed. Like he really enjoyed Divers, he really enjoyed Night Manor, he really enjoyed Avianos. He played like all 3 different difficulty settings of this weird bird strategy game. And so, like between the two of us, we shared the same save file, and I put like 100 hours into this game last year, and I still like there's still a good 5 or 10 games in this collection that I would like to play that I haven't even picked up really. Like I never played the Contra one, that's the kind of Indian themed Contra game. I never really got into the dungeon crawler one where you have your punch out fighting different monsters and casting weird spells.
Well, that sounds good.
There's a lot of meat on the bone.
Yeah, I mean, it took 8 years to be finished, so that
That's not bad
right,
for
like,
making 50 games though.
no, that's true.
Or
But also, not all of them are.
possibly
A lot of
51.
them are by Derek Yu, but a lot of them are by people who aren't Derek Yu. Like, there's a really fun driving shooting one from the Downwell guy, that I can't remember the name of right now.
Sunset.
Yeah,
Drive,
Sunset,
something like that.
I think that might be it. This is like a deck building. This game is so weird, but I'm really bad at it, but I still really like it.
This is one of my favorites. It's the first game that I picked up and played. Although, from what I have learned about board game design since, it's not a deck builder; it's a bag builder.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
Yeah, because you're like drawing tiles out.
Basically,
Yeah.
but so
Makes
charming.
sense.
Look at these characters. They've each got their.
Do people
Yes,
know how
Alex?
decks of cards work? That
Don't
there's
worry about it,
multiple.
Alex.
Okay,
We're not talking about
yeah,
this right
it's
now.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really impressive collection of like old looking. Fortunately, are much better than like you're much more likely to find to like randomly
of
land on
actual
an
video
interesting
games.
game in this than you ever would be in like one of those collection of ROM packs or even the actual official NES library. There's like whatever 580 games in the NES library, and 20 great ones and 50 good ones, and then like a lot of stuff that good at all. So
Yep.
but,
Actually,
right.
there's one thing that I appreciate about this game is that it does have online multiplayer, and Mike and I
Yeah.
played Rail Heist.
I like the we didn't mention
versus
it
Rail
either,
Heist.
but I really love just the presentation of it, like as like a fake.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like one of those like the NES Mini or the Genesis Mini or whatever, where it's just like here's a collection
Right.
of 50 of the best games from this console that never existed, and then also we're gonna put
Right.
little. Like to
Little
a certain
blurbs.
extent, there's more effort put into the fake like interface of this game than there was on the like NES or Super Nintendo Mini, the actual product
Yeah.
released by Nintendo.
Yeah.
which is I don't need to do that rant on Nintendo again. Come on, guys. Anyway, check out that cat. He's upset because there's too many party guys in the.
Yeah, calm down,
That's
man.
right.
Good.
Stop
Party's
inviting
getting
those
out of
wild
hand.
buddies in.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to number 2, which is Balatro. I would say there is probably a non-zero chance. Like anybody that played video games in 2024 probably played or at least is aware of what Balatro is. Game was all over the place. It has an
It's a
amazing
bag
look.
calendar.
right?
It has
No.
an A+ soundtrack of one song.
Oh my god.
It's a very good song.
It is one of the all-time great numbers go up games where you just like
Yeah,
numbers
number
get
go
big.
big
Yeah.
time in this one. Yeah.
But it also it's like a very effective rogue like type game where you are manipulating probability in a deck of cards, like refining
Can we say
the cards.
Can we say this one's a deck builder? Is
This
that
one
allowed?
is definitely a deck
Yes.
builder. But
It
yeah,
just starts from a deck that you know very well.
it's
Yes,
you're
exactly.
making
It
poker
starts from a
hands,
deck
but
that
you're not
you
playing poker,
have.
and you're affecting your deck and your score multiplier based on what your deck is. It goes from a few hundred points to a few trillion points that can only be expressed in the scientific notation.
Scientific notation.
And there's lots of different ways to win the game, but there's only a few paths to like destroying the game.
I was gonna say I still haven't hit scientific. I have like 150 hours in this game, and I
Mm.
still haven't hit scientific notation.
It's really
and I
tough.
still haven't gotten all the jokers. I haven't unlocked all the
I think I've
jokers.
gotten
yet.
all the
There's-
jokers. I
So
beat it on all the
legendary ones,
difficulties
only-
with this orange deck, but
Yeah.
and I beat most of the like puzzle ones except for like one. I don't know. I think this game is really great. I think it's one of my favorite. It's like so simple, but so many layers of complexity. The different ways that you can build Joker deck at the top there. The barrier to entry is super duper low, so you're into
Yeah.
those sorts of games. Even if you don't get 100-hour into it like me and Joe did, like it's still worth.
This game,
Yeah.
I played like 20 hours of the demo
Yeah.
of this game. And then I was like, well, now I have to, I'm like, I'm gonna burn out on this game before it comes out. And then it came out, and I was like, oh my god, this is just so good. I still play it. I still will fire it up and just play like one run, like at the like you were saying earlier, Eric. I forgot what game it was now that you were like, this is really. I think you were talking about Golden Idol, but like this is a really good game to have a cup of tea at the end of the night, like
Oh,
sleepy
yeah,
time
for
tea.
sure.
As you're getting ready for bed, just do like one run.
Yeah.
It's perfect for that.
There's
and I
also there's
still-
like a
I still
ton of
play it like
games that have come out in this game's wake, which are all about like probability manipulation, but like a lot of those games are only probability manipulation. Like this game also requires you to like have an understanding of like how decks of cards work in a way where you're like you actually have to play the game and you're not just like building a deck that then like
Mhm.
operates on its own, which is like I hear a
Yeah,
lot of
like
there's a lot
Clover
of
Pit.
games. Yeah, there's like Clover Pit. There's that like Racoin game, like a coin pusher version of this. There's a couple of different ones where it's just
There's a chess
literally
one.
a coin flip game where one of them you manipulate RNG of the coin flips.
Unfair flips.
Yeah, and there's Queue
something
Up
like
as
that.
well, which is
Yeah.
which is actually a different thing. It's more like an idle game. But to me, there's like a gameplay aspect to this, like of you like picking your discards and like trying to build your hands as well as your deck that some of those games.
Well, also like improvising with the Joker. Like the key to this game is the Jokers, right?
Right.
And like
When
building
you-
like
Right. When is it time
what
to go
Jokers
big or
you
go
get early,
home? And when
yeah.
is it time to just
Yes,
like take a
exactly.
small amount of malt so you can get through the next boss?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the different decks also like manipulate things in a way, right? Where it's like I've
There's a
been
lot
playing
of
with the
ways to play
plasma deck a
Balatro.
lot. There's a lot of ways to play Balatro. This game is so good. It's
Great.
ridiculous.
Yep.
And it was made by basically one person. The
Yeah.
music was composed by one person. and
by
the game was
somebody
developed
off
by
of
one person.
Fiverr who has, I think, been properly reimbursed for the like crazy amount of.
That I hope so.
But yeah, it's really great.
Also, we mentioned the calendar, but
Yeah.
we had this conversation in the Discord the other day, and like, I think it's so funny that Local Thunk is so averse to being famous or a public individual that they hired a dude named Ben Starr who dresses up like Jimbo the Joker and makes all the public appearances like on behalf of Local Thunk, and I think that's hilarious and great. So, and there's
he's a voice actor.
Yes,
Yes,
I think he's an
got
actor.
a lot of like.
Oh, he's Clive from Final Fantasy.
now he's an actor because he dresses up like Jimbo and makes public appearances.
All right, shall we move on to number one?
We should.
Let's move on to number one, which is the sequel.
I was surprised by this.
Why would you be surprised by this?
I didn't think anybody
our
else
number
would
one-
have it.
He was surprised it wasn't any
one.
higher.
A bunch of us put
No,
like
I-
100 hours into this game last year.
Yeah,
What are you
right.
talking
Like,
about?
what are you-
I explicitly didn't rate it any higher because I knew everybody else was going to rate it higher, and I wanted to use my points for other stuff.
Yeah,
But I felt
Gaming
like I couldn't
system.
completely leave it off either.
the game is Helldivers
Well,
2.
the-
The fun
Yes.
is, hey, you know what's cool is to run around with your buddies and shoot bugs and then drop huge bombs on them. Big explosions
Well-
go off.
Also, drop them on each other and
Yeah.
So everybody, we've been
use the kick emote to kick your friends off the point when
we've been doing this list for a little bit.
2.5 hours.
I think what's been going on
I'm
is
convinced-
everybody else is like. Also, here's me kicking the shit.
I know I'm convinced of this game already.
Yeah. Everybody else was like, I'm gonna play this game and I'm gonna play a different game. I went and I played one game this past year.
Final Fantasy
It was-
14, which is not on this
14.
list.
He played a little bit of this too.
Two games. All right, fair enough. Yeah. Anyway, no, this game fucking rules. I love Helldivers 2 like an insane amount.
Yep.
I think my favorite thing. So for those of you who don't know,
You don't have to
which I don't
explain
know
the
how
game.
you're
It
here.
is a third-person
Alright.
shooter where you run around and shoot bugs.
Yeah.
The concept
sometimes
is,
Yeah,
you're
or robots,
sometimes
or
the
like
Protoss
Squid,
from-
the Protoss,
from-
kind of, yeah.
StarCraft
And the entire conceit is that you are soldiers for Super Earth, a like Starship Troopers esque.
we really don't need to
like,
do the
yeah.
the basic concept.
No, that's literally it. That's all I'm gonna say. And so, but obviously, the thing that is cool about this game is what we were just talking about. Is like I think this game is like has like the highest like playtime to like insanely memorable thing that happened like ratio out of like any game I've played like ever. Because it's just there's so many times. Like I think it might even be this night that we're recording footage. But there was a night where we hadn't played in a while, and we like went to go fight some bugs. And I don't remember if it was Kurt or me or both of us, but we ended up driving a Jeep into a minefield and like bugs were swarming us. And like we all it all exploded, everything goes to shit, we're all laughing, but the car survived and we're like, okay, let's get out of here. And we started trying to drive and there was no rubber on the tires, it was just the rims, but we
Yep.
could still drive.
All true.
Like, yeah, it's just there's great shit like that. There's
You know,
stuff where
magic
like,
is happening when friendly fire is fun and
Yes.
yeah.
But that was like when I knew. I mean, we were already playing it, but I was like fully locked in when I saw the headline of, Arrowhead will not remove friendly fire from Helldivers 2 because, quote, it's too funny. And I was just like, and I think that's there's been a couple of assholes that we've ended up partnered with or playing with, or I have or whatever, but like in general, everybody who plays this game seems to like understand like there's no super
not everybody.
tryhards. No one's getting sweaty in Helldivers, everybody's sort of like, or again, most of the people that I've been matched up with are the people with the randos that we've pulled into our group when there's 3 of us or whatever. Nobody's getting fucking sweaty over Helldivers 2 that I've played with for the most part. Everybody's just kind of like having a good time. Even though Alex like will pretend he's mad when we all take mines.
Because they're not good. Take the
They're
gas
fun.
mines.
Who cares if they're not good? They're fun. They're cool.
We always win that one mission type when we all take mines.
Also, the
Case
missions where you have to
closed.
defend a spot and to blow up a bunch of bugs, they are good for that.
No
They're
case
great
should
for that.
remain
Yeah, that-
unsolved. And the case of the mines being good or not is solved. We know that they're
Is
good.
solved. Yes.
I asked if anyone was coming from the east again. You didn't say anything, so put the mines to the east. Not my fault.
Well, so I love that.
that.
I love that. It's never explicitly said in the text, but I love the implication that the Helldivers are so fucking stupid that the only way they're able to do things is by pushing like big bright buttons or like hitting arrow directions on their wrist because like they're functionally illiterate. Like, and I think that's
There's
great.
a thing. There's like a screenshot in the opening thing that said I think it says the average like reading level or something of Helldivers is like 9th grade or something like that. It definitely says that the average age of the Helldivers is 17. So I
Ooh.
remember that one because that's part of the joke is that like this
Right.
great glorious democracy like blah blah blah. It's like no, it's just a fascist dictatorship, and they're just sending their youth off to go get killed by bugs.
I mean,
for no
they
for no
literally
reason.
fired out of giant guns inside of giant bullets that impact the
Well,
planet's surface. So,
like the moment specifically, I remember very clearly the early moment. I think the first time I played this, it was Mike and Eric. I think was who I was playing with, and I think you guys had like played a game or something, and then like I joined in like after I was like running a little late or something, and like I got. Sorry, on the screen, somebody just got killed by the drop. Mike just got killed by Eric by the drop. There's another great thing that happened. But so it was the very first time I had played, and we're fighting bugs, and I have my machine gun, and when you hold down the trigger on the machine gun, your character does like a voice line after a while. And so mine said, it was just like, you will never destroy our way of life. And like just the idea of a guy like saying to a bug like that doesn't speak English or understand speech like that. You know what I mean? That's when I was like, this game is special. Like
you know what else is real good? Those explosions.
Oh man, the
Explosions are real
explosions are so good in this game.
Yeah.
Also, the skybox. There's some good ass skyboxes in this game too.
I think the sound design's pretty good. I think the guns, a lot of the guns feel really good. I think
there are guns in this game that feel really, really good. Yeah.
There's a lot of issues with the game, and they're sort of trying to sort that out. And there's a lot of things going on with, dare I say, quote unquote, community. But that's like, I was gonna say we could go into a whole thing about
mercifully
that.
don't know what you're talking about. I guess I'll ask.
Yeah,
them
don't.
Maybe not
It's
online anymore.
It won't affect you anyway. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't understand the
yeah, of course. Yeah,
right?
those. I mean, if you, well, because
there's a lot of stuff about difficulty where people are like, it's too easy, we want it harder, and then they'll make some sort of change, and they're like, why did you nerf that?
We don't.
Like,
let's.
there's
Nope.
just there's no.
I'm cutting you
pleasing
off.
some
I'm gonna
people's-
mute you if you don't stop talking about this.
I'm saying
Alright.
like it just boils down to there's just no pleasing some people, and unfortunately that's like a lot of people on the internet. But
What?
so it's who played this game specifically.
So
and it's very
this,
annoying.
but I mean, the voice lines are like, I still laugh every time I hear someone throw a grenade and say, "How about a nice cup of liberty?"
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, and again, like you said, it's just like the comedy alone wouldn't get you there if the game wasn't good. But I guess I'm not entirely sure that the game is good enough that if it wasn't funny, I would play as much of it as I have. But just like the friendly fire accidents, quote unquote, or the like, I don't know. The writing is good. The emotes are good. The fact that Alex likes to kick me off the ledge of the point with his fucking kick emote is good. There's a pull my finger emote, which is A+.
Which you like a lot.
I love it. Well, because it looks like it looks like the high five or whatever when you do it, and then when someone accepts it, then it turns into the pull my finger, which is very good.
skipping around through footage here.
Yeah, there's like an hour. I thought I could find the part with
Yeah.
where the car gets blown
The
up real
Jeep.
fun, but
Yeah, this is definitely that run that I was thinking of, but the amount of times I've been trying to call in an airstrike and then an automaton has shot me and I drop it and then and then the beacon's just at my feet. That's always good.
Yeah, that's actually something worth talking about. The stuff that you bring in, all the extra sort of big weapons are hauled down from the dropship, and you create this ball, and then you throw it, and that ball has physics, like it's in the world, and so you can like huck that thing at some giant bug that you're trying to destroy, and it can
bounces
off
off their
that bug's
forehead.
leg
yeah.
or whatever and come back to you, and suddenly you're dropping a 500 megaton bomb on your own head.
Or better, your
it's
friends.
amazing.
The
Yeah.
best part is explaining to your teammates, like, yeah, we probably want to move a little ways away.
Yeah. Often it's too late, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
it's
probably want to
But it's more fun if
I
you
mean,
try.
I think also this is a very small thing, but when you die, the sound effect is just that blarm. And like that has made me laugh so many times. Where especially like somebody will be doing a voice clip or something where they'll be like, how about a cup of liver? Blarm. And you're like, well, they're dead. Like, yeah. This game can also like I've had a lot of times too where I'm playing it and like it's just I don't want to say like epic or whatever, right? Because that sounds stupid. Because people have ruined that word means, but just like you're like holding off at
it
extraction
actually
by yourself. or
it goes
something,
from
and,
like the silly goofy thing where you're like accidentally blowing each other up and like stumbling and falling down the cliff, and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, we've only got 2 lives left and we've got like this half of this objective to finish, and we're all like, now we're gathered together and we're playing serious, and the tension gets ratcheted up, and so it can
Yeah.
like kind of like flip on a dime between being
Yeah.
like a fun goofy
Yeah.
romp into being like a really tense like thing where you're
Yeah.
like trying
No,
to
totally.
finish all the goals so you can get out and get all the rewards that you were promised. If like I said, there is like, this game is like janky and weird and a mess a lot of times, but there's some real magic there.
There's
Yeah.
the classic accidentally mantle up onto the supply pod
that is now
everybody
been-
does
Yeah.
every single time.
Not anymore. They patched it out of the game. It was a buff
I
in
don't
the
wanna
most
play this
recent patch.
Get rid of this game. All right. All right. I think,
Yeah.
like Helldivers 2 is great. And
Helldivers
that
2
was
is great.
video games in 2024. I don't. Is there anything else anybody wants to throw in? I do want to. I still would like to talk about 1000 Times Resist a little bit before
I
we
want to
go.
I want to come back.
but-
I realized right after I got done talking about Pacific Drive and then we moved on that there was something I left out that I think is really fun. Is there's a system in the game where as your car gets damaged, you can end up getting anomalies with your car. They're essentially, you get weird things happen to it. So, but it's this interesting sort of mix and match of stuff that starts to happen, and your car starts to behave in weird ways. You may not even notice it right away. But eventually, like, you can get too many of these and it can really start to hinder you. And there's a machine in your garage that you can use to sort of diagnose these things, and there's a whole sort of mini game you can play there. But it can end up where it's things like, oh, when you turn the wheel left, your lights shut off.
That's
or
useful.
or when you turn on your wipers, your car accelerates. Or
Oh, so it's bad wiring simulator.
yeah, or if when you open your trunk, the lights will flash or the radio will go
Yeah.
on or whatever, and or your battery will start to charge or drain one way or the other. So sometimes it's like, I'm not gonna fix that because that's actually helpful.
Yeah.
And other times you're like, I may not make it back because of this stupid fucking thing that's happening with my car.
Yeah, 2024 video games, they were good.
Oh, I played
They-
Stellar Blade. That
I-
was cool.
Okay, great.
That's all I got
All right.
with that one. Hey, did you
I
like
think-
Nier Automata? What if it was like
That
made
was
by
the
a bunch
butt
of
game,
perverts?
wasn't it?
That's the one with
Yeah,
all the
that was
yeah,
the
the
butt
butt.
game.
Yeah.
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 I'm trying to think if there's
I-
anything else that came out.
there is
Tekken 8 was
some-
alright.
The best 3 hours I think was when Eric and Alex and I randomly started Thank Goodness You're Here.
Yeah. I think
That
I
was that
mentioned
extra light.
We
I
did-
think I mentioned
That was
at
an
some
extra
point.
light. That was last year.
Yeah, last
It
year.
like
Yeah,
it wasn't
right,
on
yeah.
it wasn't even on your runner up list, but we just like randomly were like, let's check this thing out.
Yeah.
And we just sat there enthralled for 3 hours and finished it. It was
yeah. If you like silly,
laughed a
silly
ton.
It was
British
amazing.
humor, then that's
Yeah.
that is a great British humor.
Yeah.
I'm playing through Nine Souls now, which is
Uh-huh.
a great game from 2024.
Okay.
So there's that.
All right.
man.
So the answer is
Oh.
no, we don't have anything else to talk about.
Right.
it's-
What is
wait a
any of it
minute.
important?
I mean, no, but
I just realized so I was like,
we
what
don't
else
have
was
an
I playing in
exorcist.
2024?
uh-huh.
The Elden Ring DLC came out. That shit was fucking
Mhm.
incredible.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
We played
we
that
had a good time
co-op.
with
We had a
that.
great time playing that co-op. The
Yeah,
way we
that
beat
shit was great.
the way we beat Mesmer was an all-time video game moment for me.
Yeah, that's true.
Sure.
That's
I,
true.
I summoned these little skeleton.
totally
There's a
forgot about
skeleton.
that.
There's a summon you can do where there's these 5
Yeah.
skeleton guys with these big ass shields. And at one point, Mesmer did this thing where he like jumped into the air, and they all got underneath him, and he couldn't land, and so he just was like glitched, like infinitely bouncing on the skeleton shields, and we just kicked the shit out of him and beat one of the bosses
One of
that
the hardest
everybody
guys. Yeah,
was complaining
yeah.
about with like no trouble whatsoever. It was really fun.
First try.
Yeah.
Yep.
The ultimate
Nice.
strategy.
While we were laughing our asses off.
It was
It
a
was
great
really
it was a
funny.
great way to finish our like slightly all the time broken Elden Ring co-op modded Elden Ring.
Yeah.
All right, it's almost 1 in the morning, and I
I-
want to talk about 1,000 Times Resist.
Let's
before
talk
I go to
about
bed.
let's talk about 1000.
Hair to hair, Mike.
Is this gonna
Red
be
to blue,
a
Anthony.
spoiler
Red to
thing?
A little
So-
bit.
I'd say I think I'm
Probably,
gonna
yeah.
step away. I'm gonna
Alright.
step away for a minute while
Alright,
you
go
guys
ahead.
talk about this. So.
Yeah.
Start playing it now, Joe.
Yeah, go play it.
If I
It's
start
only like
playing
8.
it-
It's only like what is
Also,
it?
so-
10 hours, 8 hours, something like.
I very quickly want to say that I present my annual game I wish I liked more award, which last year was Ultros, and I was like the art style was so great, and the game just did not.
The
work for
idea of
me
like
at
a
all.
time loop Metroidvania.
Yes. It
It
didn't.
definitely
stick
didn't
the
stick the
landing.
landing.
Yeah.
Maybe
Alright,
it
that's it.
does.
You
I
guys
don't know.
know
Maybe I
about
need to
that.
give it more time. Let's
Yeah,
talk
maybe
about
it sticks the landing. Maybe I need to play it again.
Let's talk about 1000 Times Resist. I think is certainly narratively the most interesting game that came out.
And visually at times too, like some really arresting visuals in that
Yeah.
game. Yeah, I don't know. It's just really interesting.
It's been so long since I played it now that like a lot of the details have kind of faded into the
Yep.
background a little bit, unfortunately.
All the repeated stuff, like Anthony's been saying, that the red to blues and the hair to hair. I think they're all kind of annoying, but I'm assuming that that's on purpose because this entire culture is just basically derived from this one teenage girl.
Right.
Right.
And so I think a lot of it must just be like slang and stuff that she had, or like all the weird religious stuff that they just kind of fabricated without her based on some scribblings that she put down.
Right. It's
whenever
like
she was a teenager.
it's like a bunch
however
of
long ago.
people who don't know how to make a society or like trying to like figure out how to do that, and they're also all clones and like living like a weirdly like for me the thing that really landed on me super. I definitely told this to Anthony after he finished it when we were talking about that there's like I can't remember if it's like the fourth to last chapter or the third to last chapter, which is the last one where you spend a lot of time with Iris's parents, and like their story to me is like far and away the most interesting part of this because of the way that ties into all the other like narrative threads. But like basically like her like the the basic premise, right, is that there's like this alien invasion that happens and like kills everybody by a virus, but there's one person that's immune to it, and she's like immortal, and then she starts like making clones of herself to like have some people to live with, and then they like rebuild like this like completely broken society. But when you're playing the game, you're doing all these flashbacks, and so you get to see her memories, but it's like her memories as a teenager, but then you get to experience the memories as an adult. So you're like seeing the behavior of a teenager interacting with
Yeah.
adults from her perspective. And it turns out like her parents were like protesters in Taiwan during the like I would what was it called, the like the 20, I think it was during the not the it wasn't like the most recent wave of protests, but like the ones in the
umbrella.
90s. Yes, the umbrella protests and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And it's like then they like had to leave the country and are like have immigrated, and it's just like all these really complicated like political things and how they tie into families and the effect that those have on kids. And I think that like all of that stuff, the way that they tie all those real world things and those like real emotional things into the different clones and the different aspects of society that the clones represent and stuff. I thought all that stuff was really awesome. And then you get to the end of the game and it's like all this like sci-fi jibber jabber stuff, and I wasn't feeling that as much. But there is like an emotional center piece that is that final chapter where you get like all of the backstory for her parents. Like I thought a lot of that stuff was just like some of the best writing that I've ever seen.
I
I think
completely
I liked
agree.
it because I think it works on most of its levels all at the same time, which I think is what's really impressive about it. The fact that you're literally playing through like 4 or 5 stacked characters, each kind of reminiscing about the one before them
Hmm.
as you go on, and you get to the end of the game and you kind of realize like, oh, I've been this one character the whole time. Like
Right.
like every time I was seeing stuff from Watcher or from the youngest sister or from Iris or her parents, the whole time I've actually been this last character in the chain who just kind of has been
that's
going
inheriting all
backwards.
that. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of interesting stuff about
What's her friend's name?
how much
The way that she
oh
the way that
Zhao?
Iris, yeah, interacts
No.
with Zhao, and
Yeah.
like the real nasty. She's like nasty in the way that only a teenager can be. At like somebody that like she's finally found somebody that's like lower on the
Right.
The totem
social
pole than she-
pecking order, yeah, than she is. And
Are you at the end of the game? Is this your end of the game save?
no, this is the beginning of the game.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
forgot
yeah,
about
Mike.
this part.
I was I was doing the same. Like, wow, this is all stuff that comes at the end. You
when
have way
I
more content.
when I captured this footage, I thought I had like loaded the wrong chapter because the game loops in a way that I didn't realize until I restarted it to do this.
I will say I had a really funny experience with the end of this game, which maybe we should talk. I don't know if we should
Yeah,
talk about
let's
it now.
talk about the end, because that is also really interesting. You make some the like this is the inverse of a lot of choice based games where like like generally like in choice based games like you're supposed to like make a bunch of little choices that like turn into the avalanche that leads to the end of the game. And in this game they just like, do you just want to get rid of all the cops, or do you just want to get rid
Right.
of the Benedict Arnold of the group, or do you just want to like get rid of the doctors or whatever? Do you want to see what society would be like if you just didn't have these things in it? And then they like let you make that choice like in a very literal way. I thought was a really
But that's
interesting
why
thing to do.
you said like the sci-fi bullshit didn't work for you, but that's why it kind of did, because I think so much of it is about like what do you bring with you from the past and what do you let go and what do you and like
Yeah.
all the stuff about like if you're an immigrant family, like how much of that do you pass on to your kids and how much do they choose to take on versus like assimilating into, and like
Or
just
when you build a
the theme.
caste-based underground society based on clones of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. How
How do you
much do
structure
you
that?
right?
What
How
do
much?
you
Yeah, right.
how
It's
much of your
but
high
like
school
all of
bullshit
those
do you bring into that?
all of
Yes.
those things just stack onto each other, and you start to recognize them as the same thing in a different way. It's this game is so good.
I just wanted to say at the end, you go through all the different groups and you're like, so which of these do we want to carry forward? And one of the ones that I was interested in keeping was the woman that they refer to as Mauve at the end of the game, who was kind of like, I don't know, partially, I guess
She's
she
the leader of the
orchestrated the
cops.
bombing.
Yeah.
She's the leader
Well,
of
but
the
yeah, but she
She's a
also did
fascist.
no, but she also organized the event that disrupted that whole government, right? So in my mind, she was kind of a revolutionary or something. And if you choose her, I don't know if you did this, but when you go to confirm your choices, and they'll be like, "Yeah, are you sure about that one?"
You sure want
And
to
I was
bring
like,
like
"Yeah."
this game's Joseph Stalin ahead
Yeah,
with you into the
exactly, right?
future? Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, let's see what happens." And what happens is she immediately shoots you in the head, and then it just reboots the end game sequence because it's like no, you actually can't. You can't have her around. Sorry, Like, there's
But
no
I
path
think that's
forward that
actually
involves her.
kind of awesome too, because the game isn't afraid to have its own
Yes.
politics.
Yes, that is the thing
Like
that I
it's
like.
not.
Like this game
It's
will judge you for your decisions at the end of it. Like,
right.
right? If
Right.
you're gonna put Idi Amin in your fucking society, then you're gonna get shot because they're not gonna brook anybody else having a different. That was really.
Yeah. Anyway, really,
Also,
really good.
like it's worth mentioning the people who made it. I think were like part of like a theater company or something. They have like a
Okay.
lot of like stage. They have a lot of stage history, and this is the first like game they've done, which is why so much of it is shot in such a way that's a way more cinematic and or more like a play. And I think
Oh,
it
there's
really shows like they
incredible
thought
shots in
about
this game.
yeah. It almost makes up for the absolute terrible
The map.
like map layout of the place
Oh.
that you spend half the game.
Half the
But
game getting
Yeah,
lost
running around the
in.
hub world is
yeah.
not the best.
Yeah,
I also
this
told
was
Mike, I
definitely
think
that's why I didn't have it at number 1, because there's just like a couple of things that like. And like I said, like when I say the ending gobbledygook, I mean the stuff in that, like when they're like on they're like when you find out that you're like on a like life spaceship thing or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. Like I didn't need all that stuff explained to me in explicit detail. Like I was fine with it just being applied.
I think
kind of
that's
like the
right.
explanation for the aliens, and I think that actually does tie in an interesting way to the immigrant story, right?
Right. Where the aliens are
The
just
idea that
don't understand people at all.
well, like they don't understand because they were abandoned in the middle of empty space where there was nothing, and all they wanted was experience. And so when they found Earth, they're like, "Holy shit, this place is like Las Vegas," and they just hung around. And then you've got what's his name, Secretary,
Yeah.
who is basically just like the second generation
Baby.
alien, right? He's the one
Right.
who was raised on Earth and who's like, no, I know how these people work. I know how to talk to these people, and he can just blend in and not destroy society in the process.
You know what else is cool? That big
What else is
pigeon.
cool?
That big pigeon is cool.
Remember the big pigeon?
I do.
Good.
It's nonsensical. I think like shout out because this is how I was sold on this game, and it wasn't quite what I
Is it because I showed you a screenshot of
Not-
the big pigeon?
no, but Big Pigeon like pushed me over the edge. But it was actually because I heard someone say that this game was the first one post-pandemic that actually captured what that kind of felt like right in the early.
Oh God.
And the first scenario of this, like you're in the high school, and I was really worried I'd gotten myself into like a Persona like life sim like anime, like this is like a high school setting. I was like, God, I don't need another high school. And thankfully that's only the first thing, but like all the stuff where there's like posters around about how people are feeling and not coughing on each other and wearing masks and like but like none of the characters understood what was actually going on was really like it was kind of awesome to see someone pull from that in a way that meant something. I don't know. It like that was really neat to me. But then that was just like Act 1.
Or all of it,
Yeah.
kind of, because it just goes around and around.
Right.
It's all happening at the same time.
And then there's the giant pigeon. Pigeon Prime.
Pigeon Prime. All right. Yeah, I probably would have had more to say about it, I think, like I said, I think Anthony and I talked about it a lot one night after we got done playing Elden Ring. There is some really, really.
I told Mike that I would make an argument for this game having some of the best voice acting in a game, because it is very clearly directed, and I think that's shown through for me when there's a split that happens, like a timeline split where like society gets shaken up and then everybody's wearing different masks. But if you did the thing, there's like an achievement or whatever for talking to everybody in every like act break. So if you run around the stupid fucking map and get lost 10 times, but if you talk to everybody, you start to know all the characters, and they have an ongoing like little mini thing that they're like dealing with throughout those acts. And then when you meet people later and they all have masks on and they're not named anymore, you can still start to figure out who some of those people are and what their personalities actually are.
All the characters,
even though everybody has its
voice.
Yeah. It's very, and like once it was also, I thought for half the game that it was like one voice actress, and it turns out it's like a ton of people. They were just directed to all sound like this. And once I had that realization, I was like, oh, this is all purposeful. This is awesome.
I don't think
Good
that
game.
part worked for me to the same extent, but it was a good story.
Well, you're a Philistine.
Indeed. This Philistine's going to bed, so thank you for the discussion.
Okay. Good night, buddy.
Good night, Mike.
I'm
you'll
glad
have to
this
resist-
moved up your list. Thank you for playing it.
Yeah, it was
Night.
great. Goodbye.
All right. Well,
We did it. We beat Mike.
we did.
And 2024.
Here, we'll populate this this list with the whole thing pops into place. Best games. Joe and Kurt aren't here to say goodbye because they muted their mic. That was an
Which joke's on them. You're supposed to mute the sound, not your mic.
Oh, I think
He
they
went
just
to bed.
yeah got it.
Got him.
All right. Anyway, that's it. We'll see you next year.
Good year.
Yeah, it's another pretty good. I mean, it was it was a good year for video. They
Yep.
almost all are these days.
Yeah.
Too many
Right.
of them. The breadth
I
and the
was not
depth continues to
bored.
astound and amaze me.
Yep.
There was definitely a point when we were doing these Game of the Year shows where I was like, man, we're living in this golden age of games. There's just like all these great games all the time. And now I just feel like take it for granted that there's going to be more games
Mhm.
that I want to play than
Right.
I could possibly have the time or energy to actually. So anyway, that's it.
Yep.
Bye. Goodbye 2024.
Bye.
Hello 2025. It's going to be a great one, right guys?
Yep.
I'm playing Hades 2
Probably.
right now.
Yeah, 2025.
Hey,
the future.
when did that technically
be
go
great.
into open access?
I
Early
don't
access.
care, dude. 2023, I think.
Early access it was before, but
It came out.
So it
this
wasn't
year.
2024. Okay.
I think it was 2023.
I was gonna sneak in the discussion now, but all right, never mind.
No,
Talk about it later.
not now. We're all
Talk
tired.
about it next year. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's not Extra Life's still going on. You make it sound like we're all going to bed.
That's true. Extra Life is still going on. Actually, I might move downstairs.
A 2024 is when early access started.
Okay, 2024. So we could have talked
See,
about it.
we could have talked about it.
Oh,
It's
we're
not
not
on the
going
list.
to. Shut up.
All right.
Not on the list.
I just won't talk about the
Oh.
ending.
Well, I haven't
Did you
gotten
get
there
the
yet,
ending?
so shut up.
No.
I mean, we can just
Why I
talk
can't
about
talk
it right
about it?
now. It's fine. What do you want to say?
Nothing. It's pretty good.
I'm doing my first run on the surface where it's not
I
killing
think
me
I'm done with
instantly.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I
How
don't
many
think I'm
times
gonna
did you beat?
finish it.
Me?
I beat me.
Yeah, you.
He,
Not
yeah,
Alex.
he means you.
Alex just started playing it.
I beat both.
Yeah, okay.
I beat
I was
one
like, what?
route 3 or 4 times and the other route twice. I just don't know that I feel like doing that more.
Not feeling the characters.
Yeah, but like I want to know what happens, but not enough to like.
I meant the like ancillary,
Yeah. Yeah.
the people hanging out in
mean-
your base and stuff.
There's only one ancillary character I really care about.
Dora.
Yeah, of course.
I don't. I maxed
She's
out.
alright.
I maxed out the relationship with Dora, Nemesis, Hecate.
Well, I do like Odysseus. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think they nailed that character pretty well.
I got pretty far with Eris. By that point, I'd already.
Did you
played
get the
for
ending?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got them. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I finished it. I mean, you're not that far away from that. I don't think. Need to beat each one like 6 or 7 times.
It's 7 times. And so I'm just staring down like I don't.
See, I always when I played that, I felt like I was unlocking stuff like at a much faster rate.
Oh yeah.
And also like you get way more of the ambrosia things, the story stuff with the. So it like.
Yeah, you
I
get
never,
that so much faster.
I never like but I never really made the game harder. So it just like got to a point where I was like mowing down things and.
Well, that's kind of what made me stop because I was like, if I make this harder, I'm not really interested enough to do that. But also, I don't want to like just grind a thing, 6, 7 times that I'm not, and just make it easy either. So I just sort of like kind of put it down for a couple days and haven't picked it up again.
I mean, that's exactly that's almost exactly what happened.
Yeah, this is what
I
so
also
many
just
people said with Hades.
Like
right.
like there was like a long stretch of like 10 hours where I was like not progress, not unlocked. All right, well, I guess that's all I'm gonna get out of this.
Yeah. Well, I also feel like I plowed through so much of it so quickly that I have so many things to unlock that I almost have the opposite problem. Where I feel like I'm not unlocking stuff because I have too many things I can spend it on.
You get a lot
I
of
don't know.
resources.
Yeah.
I like
it's-
I like
I-
seeing all the
like,
weapons and like
I also think
experimenting
it's-
with those quite a bit.
I think the boons they've got, like you can synergize those things super well. Like I think it's a very good game. I
Yeah.
personally am not feeling like grinding through more of it.
I mean, also we
that
talked
doesn't
about
mean it's-
like
But that
the
doesn't mean it's
things,
bad in any way.
the combat style of the game is different.
Also that. Yeah. Yeah, like I don't love any of the weapons this time around. I actually really like the cast thing. I think that's a great addition.
You don't like the sheep wand? Come on. Sheep
The
wand
what now?
rules. The sheep wand.
The sheep wand.
Yeah, there's like a sheep variation of the 2 wand things that Hecate uses.
Oh, really?
And yeah, so when you charge them, it shoots out like this little, like they have little fluffy balls on them that look like sheep wool, and then charge up the I can't remember if it's the special, the attack, but you shoot out like a ball that does AoE damage as it floats around, and there's like all
Okay.
kinds of really cool boons combined. That was like the super duper for me.
Did Alex, have you seen Cersei yet?
No. Okay. Well,
I
I look forward
I-
to it.
I really wanted to beat the game, the run where I got stronger.
Which direction did you go?
up.
Up. Okay. Down is
You
also
know what I
good.
like?
They're both
Down is
good.
also good. I did that on a subsequent, yeah. But I wanted to beat the game when having that, and I never quite cracked
Oh
it.
yeah,
when
you're right. I wonder what happens if you
I
Really
want to
like-
see, because there's so much good dialogue.
Yes, because
I really
everybody
wanted my
reacts
first
to you.
successful dialogue to be like that, because it'd be really funny to just hear the main ending lines with all that stuff.
Well, now I'm curious what Cersei's gonna be, but I guess I'll find out soon
You'll
enough.
find out. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I really liked it. I mean, I put 30 hours into this game. Like, I really liked it, but I think I might be done at 30 hours.
I mean, I played
I don't know.
Hades 1
That's
for 27.
I was gonna say that's more than I played
So,
Hades 1.
Yeah, so we
played that
just
game.
are having like the opposite.
I know.
reactions
Also, you
almost or
just
something.
Right.
recently played like 1,000,000 hours of. Not surprised that.
Well, as it turns out, that was like 4.5 years ago.
Yes, not that long
So
ago.
I think. So
For a
I
game that
think
you
what
put
I've learned
100
from
hours
this and
into.
Silk Song,
Yeah.
what I've learned between this and Silk Song, what I need is a break of 7 or 8 years between entries in a game, not 4 or 5.
Also, I bet you didn't play Hollow Knight as
No, I did not. Though I did beat it. So
Special.
probably I don't. I am
I
special.
never did. I got to the like.
Hollow Knight. Well, I really like that. I've played it to completion twice. Just
mean,
not.
It's a good video game.
Mike has done all the extra. Like Mike is like, if Mike's a 10
Speaking
on
of
that game,
sickos.
and I'm like a 7.
According to your Steam
I'll-
records, Anthony, you played 99 hours.
Of Hades. Yeah, I looked it up the other day. Yeah, I chuckled because I remembered I intentionally didn't want to break 100 hours.
Yeah, I hit like 20 or 20.
I did like almost everything in that game.
My Steam records don't reflect my total playtime because I was bouncing back and forth between Switch and
Mm.
PC because because the saves cross,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so I could play it handheld and pick it up and keep going, and I was like, this is great.
What a magical crossing
Yeah.
path.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
Wait, are we still streaming?
No.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Unless you
I just
turned it off.
realized because the only reason why I booted up Hades was
Yeah,
because you
we
guys
still
were
are.
talking about.
It just says the
Okay.
Stickies awards.
We
but
don't have
it's
to
still
keep
going.
talking about Hades, and I can also pause. I can save at like any time.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I really enjoyed it, so I really like talking about it. I just
yeah,
I'm also
just
done
saying.
with it. I
okay.
think.
I need to pee bad. So.
All right. Well, you should do that.
You should do that better than not.
You should not make that sound while you do it.
There's also that.
Good old Hades.
Well, that's bad. Okay. Nectar, I barely even. Anyway,
What are we gonna do when people are back?
whatever you want.
It's Baldur's Gate time, buddy.
Good.
No, Joe's gonna be here too.
Well, fuck him. He should have.
He doesn't like Baldur's Gate.
We started a game. We just never really like made it very far.
Yeah. Let's
Rick
play.
didn't turn off the stream.
I'll sort by multiplayer games I have. Let's play Cat Quest 2. Actually, we can't.
I
I
haven't
don't want you
finished
guys-
Cat Quest.
I don't want you guys
Yeah, I
to
wouldn't
ruin
understand
my.
the story.
It's true. It's pretty complicated.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys to mess up the save Miriam and I have going. Cat Quest 3 is on sale.
Sweet.
40% off.
Was a Cat Quest 3.
Yeah.
I think it's like this year or like last year. It's like recent.
See previous comment about Cat Quest not being finished.
Yeah. Right.
I did play a bunch of it. I just never got back to it. I stopped
Aphrodite?
playing.
Nah. Sorry, Aphrodite.
Play some Peak.
You could do that.
Peak at Aphrodite.
Whoa.
There's not much to peek at, really.
Yeah, there's
It's
not,
not
left-
really.
not
Not
left-
exactly hiding it. Yeah.
Not much left to the imagination.
No. I appreciate their commitment to that, but she's not on a giant like oyster or whatever.
Gen Z knows how to make some attractive people.
Mm-hmm. How far have you made it, Alex?
I made it to Chronos 2 Phase 2, but I have not beaten him.
Okay.
And right now is my first time I'm doing a run on the surface.
Oh yeah,
I'm on the
you did
boat.
say that.
The motherfucking
I'm
boat.
on a boat, motherfucker. Yeah.
Get your flippy floppies.
Presumably at the shop of the boss, I think is what's happening. That's good. I think the stealth best thing about this game is when you walk up to an NPC and hit up next to them to open up the thing to see if you should give them nectar, it defaults to them. It's like it knows why
Yes,
you're
I
pulling it up.
completely. I agree completely.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what, man? You guys like figured it out.
The thing it's missing is there's sometimes I run into characters and I can't remember if I've already given them one.
Yeah. But then
Like
if you
when I-
look
and
and
I'm
you
like-
don't see them in there, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right. It took me a while to figure that out. That they just won't show up in there if you haven't given them one yet.
Yeah.
Want to hear the best thing about this game?
Yeah.
My so you've fought Kronos. Have you paused the game while you've fought Kronos?
No.
So if you
But I
If
know
you-
like what's coming, like
If-
some
well, if
you know,
you
to some
pause the
degree.
game, he only during him, when you pause it, he has all this extra dialogue about, oh sure, don't worry, I thought I was the only one who could stop time, but okay, go ahead, whatever. Tell me when you're ready. Like he like does that kind of like stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I texted my brother because my brother's played like way more than I have of this game. Like he's pretty much finished it. And I was like, you know, the one thing they should have, like, they were cowards because they should have had him unpause the game. And he said, yeah, so about that, you know, you can like make the bosses harder later on in the game. He's like,
So
if you
you
play,
can- he
if you
cannot
play
pause.
if you play his harder form, he said, I was on his harder form and I paused it and went to get a drink and he unpaused it and killed me.
I mean that's
So-
yeah, that's
So
pretty
only if
good.
you make the harder version, you take on the harder version, he'll just unpause it, which is an incredible thing that they decided to do.
I mean it makes sense.
Right. But I also like that they